Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here, and sorry I'm a little bit late. I was doing intense research on the third referee that I didn't know last night in our game, and I was finding out who Hortensia Sanchez Carzales is, Mexican ref, who is one of the newer refs in the G League, and she's a Mexican citizen, and she's coming up in the ranks of the NBA officials because I was like, I know Michael Smith and CJ Washington, but I was wondering who Hortensia was. Sorry, I was just doing some research on her. Of course, the Raptors, huge win over the Chicago Bulls in the first game of Summer League 2025. It was not a close game. It was kind of what I was expecting. And once again, I feel really like I'm on the pulse of things because what did I say? This is going to be spam and steal kind of stuff. And the Raptors were able to almost average, making them commit a turnover every minute of the entire game. The Bulls, yeah, 34 turnovers for the Bulls last night. Just all kinds of creative ways that the Raptors made them turn it over, whether it was a straight up steal, whether it was taking an offensive charge, whether it was harassing Bulls players near end lines and them dropping the ball out of bounds. They were jumping in the passing lanes and stealing the ball and running it back and dunking it. The game was very exciting, very entertaining for Raptors fans, dismaying for Bulls fans, but very encouraging and very fun and exciting for Raptors Nation. That's for sure. We're going to react to the game today. I've got my stars of the game. We're going to go over the box score. We'll do the Instagram stories. We'll do all the fun stuff. I want to hear what y'all have to say about the first game of Summer League for the Toronto Raptors. All the little details, the different players, the plays, Alijah Martin, hello, and all the great stuff from the game last night. Let's react to the Toronto Raptors Summer League victory over the Chicago Bulls last night. Yeah, I'm excited about tomorrow and seeing the Raptors play the Orlando Magic now next. Magic lost their first game of the Summer League, and they're 0-1. And well, we should pick them apart. That's right. Trevor J's first in on the chat as usual. Commissioner Fun, thank you. Gaslighting is when they only want to talk about their actions, only your reaction. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of different forms of gaslighting. But yeah, it's very manipulative actions. In some ways, the definition of gaslighting is messing with people's reality and changing it and behind their backs to try and mislead them and lie to them, and kind of like it's usually used for the person's gain, the person who's gaslighting. So yeah, thank you for the words of wisdom, Trevor. It'd be interesting. We can define what gaslighting is. It's not being completely truly honest with your representation of yourself to other people. And in some ways, it's also giving misleading information on purpose so that people will be misled also. Trevor J saying Raptors show domination, putting the Chicago Bulls on ice. AJ Lawson's defense, offense just has to be there to see the domination of this team. Very, very proud of Brampton's AJ Lawson last night showing up and kicking ass. At a certain point in the game last night, I started to see the shades of Terrence Ross in the 51-point game against the Clippers in AJ Lawson last night. I mean, it was just a certain type of zone with the three-point shot. Thank you, Raptors, for putting out the half-hour clip of Terrence Ross's classic game where he scored 51 points against the Clippers in a losing effort. It was fun to watch that highlight reel and see Terrence Ross at that time playing against Blake Griffin and them and kicking so much ass. I mean, Ross couldn't miss. He was just draining insane threes with even hands in his face and people guarding him. If you watch that clip the Raptors put out this week. Well, AJ Lawson had a little bit of that gumption going with his three-point shot. After the game in his interview, he said he's worked very hard this summer on his three-point shooting and making it better. Now, AJ's always been a pretty good scorer. It's just that he's not always been the most efficient scorer. He can be high volume and shoot a lot of shots and score a lot, but sometimes he has to shoot a lot to make a lot. And well, I think that he's working on quality now and trying to limit his shots and make sure he makes more shots on less shots. So yeah, AJ Lawson, salute to you, man. Listen, you're in some ways in a place where you're fighting for position on this team. And well, you heard the call to action and you went and got it last night. So I'm very proud of you, AJ. I think what you did last night does really show Bobby Webster and the Raptors that you should be kept around. I think, yeah. Yeah, and of course, his enthusiasm, his passion, and his love for the Raptors. I mean, in the interview afterwards, AJ's going on about this is our culture, this is who we are. And when he says that, it means a little extra because he's promoting Toronto Raptors basketball culture as a young man who's from Brampton. And he understands Raptors history as a fan, as being a child. And well, when AJ Lawson says this is Raptors culture, he understands it. He very much does. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it so much. Yeah, AJ, fantastic stuff last night. Fantastic stuff. I'm really happy that you had such a huge game and leading the Raptors to victory last night. I really, really am. Trevor J saying Martin's dunk brought the house down in Las Vegas. Yeah, you were in the house. And we want to hear the firsthand accounts of our Commissioner Fund, who was at the game last night in Vegas in the Cox Pavilion. And well, Trevor, give us all the firsthand accounts that you can from being on site. Did you get to see our other Raptors sitting on the other side? Scotty, Grady, Sandro, RJ, and Emmanuel, and Jakob, and Oshai. Did you see the other Raptors sitting over there? Grady with Carla and Avery there with Oshai and everybody. Yeah, we could see them on TV. And well, Scotty was pretty involved in the game last night. I would have to say, Scotty was pretty involved in the game. Yeah, Elijah Martin brought the house down in Las Vegas. He put the NBA on notice. Offense and difference. He's already looking like a steal for the Raptors last night. Now, all right, this is what I'm going to say about Elijah Martin. That guy's electrifying. And in some ways, he's my star of the game for last night. Sure, AJ was the leading scorer, but there's something about Martin coming out in his very first NBA kind of game and just busting out like that immediately. I mean, the man played very well. He had a plus 36, which is the highest on the team last night, guys. Plus 36 for Elijah Martin, 6 of 12 shooting. So he shot 50%. And he shot from outside. He was 2 of 4 from 3. Made all of his free throws, made 2 of 2, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 16 points for Elijah Martin in his first ever NBA associated game. And not only that, a huge monster poster dunk on a much taller defender for the Bulls. And then he went back for seconds, but wasn't totally successful then. Yeah, that man, oh my God. In some ways, it's like Elijah Martin last night had the best clip for the NBA and Summer League so far. That clip is getting played like crazy on NBA channels and internet places, and that Elijah Martin's making us look real good already. So, man, you go on then, Elijah Martin. And people are like, yeah, we knew he's going to do this. A lot of the fans of Elijah coming from University of Florida and other places are coming and saying, yeah, we knew he was going to do this, and here he is. And, well, we've seen it now. And we're going to see it more, according to Coach Wade. He said in the interview after the game last night, yeah, expect Elijah Martin to take flight some more at the Summer League. And if that's not what must-watch television, Raptors fans, come on in and let's watch Elijah Martin. Let's go watch him. Seriously, that man, I was telling y'all, he's like got Westbrook kind of hops. He's going to go catch some bodies. He's going to catch some bodies. And I'm telling you, Mac McClung, you should be shaking in your boots, motherfucker. That's right. This guy, if he wants to come and take your title as the dunk champion in the NBA, this man can do it. He will do it. I want to see him do it. So, Elijah, gear up for the NBA slam dunk competition. I would love to see you throw your hat in the ring and get in there. If you keep doing stuff like this, they're going to ask you to come. You know that. They're going to ask you to come in there. A man of your stature that can take the elevator that many floors up, he will be asked to come to the dunk competition. And you might just be the man that can dethrone Mac McClung. That's right. That's what I want to see. Bring the prestige, bring the honor, bring the glory to the Toronto Raptors franchise, like past dunk champions like Terrence Ross. Yeah, and Vince Carter. That's right, Elijah Martin. Add your name to the list, sir. Add your name to the list, because I'll tell you right now, I'll put early odds on Elijah Martin winning the dunk competition this year. Seriously. I know I'm biased, but you could see the evidence of last night. I'm telling you right now. Trevor's saying, could not ask for a better night like last night. Just watching one team dismantle the other team. It was sad and pathetic for Billy Donovan the third's team there. The Bulls there with Billy Donovan and some of the Bulls sitting on their side of the court too. Kevin Herter, Kobe White, Ayo DeSumo. There's some of the Bulls guys are over there. But, man, really nice to see the support from our Raptors. Pretty much every single guy on our team was at the game last night. And really the leader, Scotty, man, this guy's amazing. Like, he is such a coach. Like, he is standing as a civilian, wearing civilian clothes on the opposite side of the court from the Raptors bench. And he is coaching and clapping and yelling at our guys with defensive assignments and encouragement. Not only that, Scotty's politicking with the referees and getting calls changed in our favor. Like, he talked to Michael Smith at one point in the game last night, and they gave us the ball afterwards. So it's like, Scotty Barnes, what a leader, going above and beyond. How many franchise players are doing what Scotty Barnes does? Showing up the game, not just sitting there watching and observing and participating and doing his part to try and help his guys on the court. Of course, he's proud of Jonathan Mobo and his excellent effort and game last night. Of course, he's proud of his best friend, but he's very proud of the rest of the guys too. And in some ways, Scotty loves his team. That's right. He very much loves his team, and he goes all out for them. And I love that he was actually very effective with the referees last night, calling them on their shit. There were a couple of challenge calls that we called. Specifically in the beginning of the game, Jonathan Mobo was getting no respect whatsoever on any contact near the basket. Well, we called the challenge, and then the call started to change with Michael Smith. We asked for respect, and we started getting it after that from those guys. And in some ways, Shamshay and Mobo both benefited from the Raptors calling them out on that. The Shamshay block was absolutely clean, and two perfect challenges for Coach James Wade in the game last night on two very, very good calls for that, because they did change the whistle a bit. The whistle was not on our side at the beginning of the game. And the first quarter was very even. But in the second quarter, we busted that game wide open and messed them up even more in the third. And then, boom, we're going to win by like a 40-point margin almost. Yeah, that was fun. That was really fun to watch. Yeah, really, really, really fun, man. And Trevor, I'm glad you got to be there in person to witness it with your own eyes. James is here. Good to see Raptor Freak James. We didn't even have Colin Murray Boyles. Looking forward to Sunday's game. Yeah, we found out right before the game that Murray Boyles was scratched from the lineup. He had been abducted. That's right, guys. The dreaded strained abductor. And I'm always going to make that joke from now on. He has been abducted. He was abducted right before the game with his abductor. And that's too bad. In some ways, I kind of like it because we have something more to look forward to in Summer League. And in some ways, it's also Colin not playing last night allowed for people like AJ Lawson, Jacoby Walter, Jonathan Mobo to kind of get more shine in this game last night. I think also it's good for Colin Murray Boyles. If he's not totally 100% ready, come in and view it all and get a look at everything. And, well, if you can watch your teammates do what they do like they did last night, you're going to feel pretty confident taking the floor. And if there's any kind of jitters, any kind of freshman feels of like, I don't know what I'm doing because I'm new, well, I think it's as encouraging to see your teammates dominate the Bulls like they did last night. And you're just adding more to the excellence of the Raptors when Murray Boyles is going to show up and play for them. So hopefully he will play on Orlando. Josh Lewenberg is saying that he's expected to try and play on Sunday, but we'll see. Nothing's guaranteed. But we definitely want to see CMB before the end of Vegas Summer League. That's right. He needs to show up and play at least one game. That'll be really weird if he doesn't. It won't be good. It won't be good. Trevor's saying Masai did it one more time, finding these players. You can see all his handprints all over them. Well, we can say this forever. I'm going to say this right now. Whenever something good happens to the Raptors, it's the essence and the spirit and the integrity and the energy of Masai Ujiri. Masai Ujiri is a spiritual leader for the Toronto Raptors forever. Fuck you, King Edward III. You cannot take that away from us. What would Masai do? Yeah, we're going to ask ourselves that question. Hopefully Bobby Webster will do exactly what Masai would do. And yeah, you're exactly right, Trevor. I will forever, for the rest of my life, from now on, say anything good that happens to the Raptors is a direct result from Masai Ujiri. And everything bad that happens, well, that's Keith Pelly and Ed Rogers III's fault. I'm just going to blindly do it because honestly, once you flip that switch and you dismiss that great president of the Raptors for no good reason whatsoever, it's easily going to be your fault from now on, Ed Rogers and Keith Pelly. So, yeah, Raptors fans, if you sharpen your knives, come after Bobby Webster or Darko Rajakovic, no. You go even higher in the organization now. That's right. There's Fall Guys, and his name is Ed Rogers. And everything, if things go south or anything like that, well, it wasn't on Masai's watch. It was the jabronis that dismissed him's watch. That's right. But yeah, it's gonna Masai, you're amazing. And you know what? The culture, the way we play is a very, very direct result of the influence of the great man named Ujiri. That is right. That is right. James is saying, do you see Shamshay getting rotation minutes this year or not? You know what? After this game, I think he looked very sound. Let's talk about Shamshay a bit. As they said after the game, Jonathan Mobo and James Wade both saying that he's moving a lot better at this point. Like he's understanding his energy and how to put it out there without wasting it. You know, if you're unsure and you're kind of all over and you're not really locked in, you could be doing extra stuff you don't need to do. But Shamshay looked really, really fluid on the court last night, moving and placing himself in the correct places for the team defense. In fact, Mobo said in the interview afterwards that Shamshay is very vocal at this point on the court because his confidence is at that point where he can be calling out pick and rolls for his teammates as he sees them as the anchor of the defensive system. Now, the things I liked about what I saw from Shamshay was he played within himself. He played confidently. He played strong. And you got to love a pick steal, running it back and dunking. You got to love, that he was very much a presence defensively and rebounding wise. So, yeah, I don't know if this is the tone of where Shamshay's game is. He is very helpful on the Raptors rotation and should be playing in the Raptors rotation this year. He seemed confident and capable. And that's what we're looking for with him. In some ways, the setback of him getting hurt with his MCL tear last year was a setback, but it looks like he's really hell-bent on catching up on the time schedule for where he should be in his career entering his second year. So I would say, James, I didn't know what to say about this question you just asked me until we saw some of what he said last night. I say he's ready. He's capable. And I think that he could be not necessarily a first off the bench guy, but he could be a guy like in a position of like Chris Boucher on our team this year. He could be that kind of level of like getting in and getting to play. It's a great question. Once again, James is like the best question guy. Seriously, James, you always ask such great questions. I'm going to give you a dunk today. And it was great talking to you personally on the Discord chat during the game last night. Fantastic time on Discord with the Raptor Freaks, having chats during the game and going over the stuff that's going on. Great to talk to Stargate, Fiercey, Stillman. Very, very fun to talk to you guys. Let's see. James is saying, Lex, what other rookies look promising from this year's draft? I really like I said, Joan Berenguer. It's interesting that he's with Gobert and the Timberwolves because in some ways he has a good defensive kind of mentor in Rudy Gobert. And I think that Jean is going to be really good. Like, seriously, I'm really jealous that the Timberwolves got Berenguer. He's the one I've liked the most. In fact, we could talk about Esenge because he was playing against us last night. He looked very lost, and he didn't look very much like he understood the NBA game at all last night. In some ways, he had a very interesting frame and body, and he's a lot longer than I thought he was. But he really has a lot of work to do. And some of it's physical, like building his body up. And some of it is also just like understanding this is NBA. This is not EuroLeague anymore, bro. And in some ways, he did not look right in their game last night. Noah Senge. Of course, this was somebody who ESPN was putting us with mock draft on him. He was 2 of 7, 1 of 3 from 3, missed both his free throws badly, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 7 turnovers for Noah Senge, with only 5 points, a minus 32. Yeah, his inexperience. I mean, in some ways, the tallness of Buzelis and Esenge was a detriment to the Bulls last night because we got these speedy, handsy guys like Elijah Martin, Chucky Hepburn, and Jamal Shed, Jacoby Walter, and they're just shit disturbers. AJ Lawson getting all in on these guys. And that Bulldog mentality, full court press, we are going to swarm you and dislodge the ball from you was extremely effective last night. And sometimes the best offense comes from defense. And that's the philosophy of the Raptors right now. I mean, guys, can you see what we might be doing this year in the game last night? I mean, seriously, we can run scores up on people if they cannot withstand the flurry of hands coming at them. You could see like Chucky Hepburn is very, very good with his hands. You saw him slap the ball out of the Bulls' hands at times, and they couldn't do anything about it. And he wasn't fouling nobody. So there's some very high level defensive players on our team that get to spots, and they aren't lazy. So people like Michael Smith and CJ Washington refereeing the game will not call fouls on them because they're clean and they're doing the work and they're getting in there in the right way. Jamal Shed, AJ Lawson, Jacoby Walter, Chucky Hepburn, and Elijah Martin. Yeah, those guys were dogging them, dog squad. And this is the crazy thing. If you have like 5 or 6 of these guys, which it seems like that's the roster build for the Raptors this year, you don't have anybody getting tired. And if you're relentless with this, other teams will have such a huge hard time bringing the ball across the court in transition against the Raptors this season. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, Trevor J saying Raptors team put up the most points in the summer league this year. The record was 120 and we got 116. Yeah, we weren't worried about the overall point record. I mean, we flirted with it in the last couple of years. There was another summer league game, I believe, like 2 years ago where the Raptors got a 120 almost, and we didn't get it exactly. I think it was like 119. So this is something that's happened before. I think there's 3 teams that have scored 120 points in a summer league game. And well, we're not trying to get these records or anything, but you know what? A 116-72 win. You got to love that. You got to love that right there. There's Isaac Campbell putting the Raptor logo on blast. Good to see our man in Ottawa, the benevolent one. Isaac Campbell, number one top fan, Isaac Campbell. That's right. Trevor J saying the Raptors made the, hang on, it jumped. The Raptors make the Bulls turn over the ball 34 times in 40-minute game. Yeah, that's what the announcers were saying. I really like what Steve Smith was saying last night. I mean, it's kind of funny. ESPN's coverage really doesn't want to put any shine on us for sure. And, in the middle of the game, the announcers, Chris and Steve Smith, and then also Dennis Scott on the sideline, they're kind of like talking about, well, which teams in the East are going to jump up and surprise everybody? And they're like going through the list. They're like, this team, Atlanta, Detroit, Orlando. They're going through all these teams and they don't even mention us. And then at some point, somebody wakes up and said, wait, wait a second. The Raptors could surprise everyone this year. And Steve Smith started saying that. I'm like, oh, yeah, let's go, Steve. Because he has to admit this. I mean, his credibility or just not being able to see this. It's like he has to see this. Brandon Ingram has not been added to the equation yet. You can see that man's over there on the bench with them. He's very happy with his child sitting with the rest of the Raptors. That you've got to kind of forecast that the Raptors are going to make a huge leap this year. That's the thing. You can go ahead and say it's going to be somebody like Miami or Orlando that's going to get an increase in wins. No, it's going to be the Raptors. The Raptors are going to jump up from 30 wins last year to like 45 to 50 wins this year coming up. I think they'll get almost 20 more wins than they got last year, this year. And a lot of it does have to do with getting Brandon Ingram and having increased progress with our young players that we saw last night. And then also the Eastern Conference has some serious injuries right now, and it's ripe for the picking for any team to take the elevator up. So I think that we're very much poised. And in some ways, they ain't going to talk about us because they don't want to. They'd rather talk about Atlanta's offseason or this going on with this team or the Knicks getting Mike Brown and shit like that. Or Philadelphia. It should be bouncing back this year, depending on how well Joel Embiid is recovered. This is all interesting stuff. But I love that by the end of the game and the dominance of the Raptors and the great coaching job by James Wade, that Steve Smith and the announce crew for ESPN and NBA TV had to admit the Raptors are a true threat in the Eastern Conference to make some noise in the playoffs this year. And I love that so much. I love when we kind of force them to admit it. And they had to last night on the broadcast. A great interview with Jakob Poeltl in the middle of the game. Of course, they picked Jakob because he signed his extension this week, and that was big news on ESPN. Yak very much enthusiastic about staying a Raptor and putting it on blast on public display on U.S. television. And I love that. Some people are saying, whoa, is Jakob Poeltl like dumb? Is there something wrong with it? Why does he think the Raptors so good? He's saying that the Raptors, he believes in them. And he thinks that this young core is going to be really good. That's weird, man. Why would he say that? Austrians are weird, man. Maybe because he's smart and he understands and he knows. You know, some people say that, oh, no, Poeltl, why would you double down with the Raptors? Bill Simmons' podcast said they're going to be the worst team in the next 5 years. Well, Jakob Poeltl ain't hearing that. Jakob Poeltl ain't hearing that. He sees it. He's on the inside. I think that Jakob Poeltl might know a little bit better about where the Raptors are going than Bill Simmons' podcast. I would think. I mean, he's in the middle of the Raptors. He would know. He's the center. I mean, geez Louise, come on now. Come on now. That's right. Yeah, game over. That's right. Nako the Nacho has returned to the chat, and he's number one all of a sudden. Nako's saying Norm's not playing next season. He declared for bankruptcy. What are you talking about? What is this fake news? What are you talking about? Norman Powell's not playing? What do you mean, man? What is going on here? I don't like fake news. So don't give me no fake news. Let me go look at this. Let's see. Is there news about Norman Powell? Let me first of all see this. Okay, Norman Powell. You're saying Norman. First of all, you're half-assing. If there's some sort of problem, like you're half-assing. I don't see anything about Norman Powell taking the year off. Gerald, what are you even bringing this? Norm's not playing next season, declared for bankruptcy. That don't make no fucking sense. Is it because of the Canada thing? I don't know. You got to give me more than this, Gerald. I don't have any real news story. This sounds flaky as fuck. And you need to flesh this shit out a little bit better, man. You do. You really do. Seriously. Good to see you back, though. Fiercey's here. Good to see Fiercey, Salsera, MJ. Good to see you. Good morning, fam, and happy Saturday. What a game yesterday. First quarter was kind of shaky, but the other three were solid, and we displayed the team cohesiveness. I truly enjoyed watching the game. The beginning of the game last night, we weren't connected totally. There was a couple of passes we were trying to find Jamison Battle, but he was out of position. And it was like Castleton thought he was in one place, and he threw the ball out of bounds. And then Battle was supposed to be in another spot, and they missed him there. So there was a little bit of tough connecting. And also, first time back, a little bit of jitters, some young players involved. But, it's our guys that have been around from last year. Jacoby, Jonathan, Jamal, and Jamison, along with Colin Castleton starting. They just need to settle down. It's just like any season or anything. There's always a period in the beginning of something where they got to settle down. And they got to kind of get into their mode and find what they're doing energy-wise on the court. And that's normal. The first quarter was very even. The Bulls were kind of ahead in certain ways. Buzelis was way more active right at the beginning. In some ways, we needed to see what Mattis was going to try and do as their main offensive weapon. And it was a very concerted effort to take him out of the game. In fact, Buzelis was very ineffective with the shadowing of Jonathan Mobo and Shamshay and people like that around. They didn't let him do anything easy. And basically, that was the whole key to the victory for the Raptors last night was harass and harangue and do not let them do anything easy. And in fact, if you have a younger team like the Summer League team that's not that connected, like the Bulls Summer League team, there's going to be all kinds of places to pick them apart and just take the ball from them. So that's indicative of the amount of turnovers that they caused them to make. And also just, this is a team that's not the best team for the Bulls, and we just picked them apart. We really, really did. It was pretty awesome, man. Let's see. Fiercely saying that Elijah Martin dunk. Whoa. Yeah, it's very impressive when you dunk on a person that's almost a foot taller than you. It's very, very impressive. And this is the crazy thing. Like, he seems like he can't totally palm the ball right. So he really does kind of like one of those old school hold the ball on your wrist kind of palms. And man, power. A lot of power in those legs to get up those elevator floors. And then power in the shoulder and the arm to really put some authority on it too. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch this year. And, because he's a two-way, I do really believe that he's going to actually be playing on the Raptors to a good little bit there. Now, the other thing about Alijah is, and this is what Coach Wade talked about after the game, is sure, he's an athletic specimen. Sure, he can jump like nobody's business, but there's a heart of competitiveness in him. And I'd forgotten this, but Elijah Martin had gotten to the Final Four with a small school before he went and transferred to Florida and won the national championship this year. So there's a lot of proven winning DNA in Elijah Martin as a competitor, much like Jamal Shed. Jamal Shed's winning percentage at Houston in college is insane. Well, Elijah Martin is another one of these guys that just wins. Let's just put it that way. He's a competitor and he does what it takes. And I love when he came into camp for Summer League, he very much made it very clear that defense is his first priority. But this is the great thing. We actually did get to see him drop some offense in the game last night and show a little bit of stuff in the lane, like elevating and kind of making little push shots over people and, hitting his three. So in some ways, I wasn't expecting offense from him, but he showed up and he was very efficient off offense last night, along with the dogged defense and the incredible athleticism. Incredible athleticism. That's right. Fire. Nako saying Ulrich, Jacoby, and Lawson were our best. I'm going to disagree. My number one star of the game is Elijah Martin because he electrified the whole summer league. And he had his debut. Like, this is the guy, he's just stepping into this thing, and he stepped in like he is old to him. And he's already, like, seriously, shooting 50% at his position with his height in his very first game in Summer League is very impressive, not to mention getting a poster dunk right off the bat. And the fact that he had the highest plus minus on the Raptors last night, it really does show he was a big factor in what we were doing last night. My second star is AJ. AJ really is got to grab that brass ring and run with it because his chances of making the team, Steve Smith's really proud of him and saying, I'm glad he got this contract. But Steve did not mention that AJ Lawson's contract is not totally guaranteed. And that is something that AJ knows. So he's going to make it really hard for the Raptors to say no to him by the end of the training camp and determining the final roster for the Raptors this season. AJ with 20 minutes got 22 points. So he overscored his minutes total, which you got to love that kind of production. 22 points in 20 minutes, 7 of 15 shooting. Not bad, below 500, but not bad. 4 of 8 from 3. You got to love that. Like I said, some of the threes that AJ was making last night were very reminiscent of Terrence Ross when he gets in this Human Torch hotness, just making shots like crazy. He did miss 2 free throws, 4 offensive rebounds. So AJ was working. 6 rebounds altogether, 2 assists, 2 steals, a +8, no turnovers. AJ Lawson, fantastic game. You've played with a passion, you played with a heart, you played all out, and your energy it is infectious with the other Raptors. You're a leader, bro. You're a leader for this team. And man, their 5th year in Summer League, he better be doing well, right? Because this is the 5th time he's played in Summer League. It's crazy to think that. My third star of the game is Jonathan Mobo. Jonathan was amazing. In some ways, I'm really sad that Colin Murray-Boyles didn't play, but in some ways, I'm really glad he didn't because we got to see Mobo start and we got to see Mobo show that he's still, he built from what he's doing last year, right? In some ways, Mobo doesn't have to do too flashy or be too crazy. In some ways, he just needs to be solid. And in some ways, that's what it is. And it was a big emphasis on talking after the game that Mobo wants to take the toughest defensive assignment, just like his good friend Scott, that these guys are not going to shy away from taking the best scorer on the other side and trying to shadow them. And, well, it was Buzelis last night for Mobo. So it's a big assignment for him to try and just stymie him and stop a very talented, long offensive player that is not the easiest, maybe one of the better offensive rookies last year. But Mobo did a really good job, and he was solid all around. Like, he was very, very good on offense. Of course, a lot of his points were off of dunks, alley-oops, and really close to the basket. But 7 of 8 for Jonathan last night from the field, fantastic. He did miss 1 free throw, 2 offensive rebounds, 3 altogether, 2 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers, a +29 with 15 points in 20 minutes. So Jonathan adding points, and it seems like Scotty's so overjoyed watching Jonathan get anything he was doing last night. Scotty was just jumping out of his seat all over the place for his friend J-Mo, and you got to love it. Of course, Jonathan saying after the game, it's really nice to have the support of the vets from the Raptors sitting on the sideline. It really does encourage you, and it gives you more confidence. Seeing, your friend Scotty just flipping out over like you dunking alley oops and having such a good time out there. So good job, Jonathan Mobo, man. You take those opportunities as they come because, look, this roster is stacked. This roster is packed. This roster is competitive, and it's going to be really hard for you to carve out some stuff for yourself this year. So when you get these opportunities, like last night, to jump in the starting lineup because Murray Boyles, the lottery pick, was out, you got to take it and run with it just like AJ. And you did, J-Mo. You got the assignment, and you look really, really good. I love having you on our team. And you're not on this team because you're Scott's best friend. You're on this team because you earned it, and you're a badass. I have to say that, seriously. To say that. My fourth star of the game is Jamison Battle. Jamison Battle had a weird game. In the beginning, it was hard for him to get into the game because he was kind of getting missed on passes, and they weren't finding him or trying to look for him at a certain point. But then it came around, and Jamison started initiating himself, and it kind of started with him attacking the rim with dunks. It's like Jamison, just like a lot of the young Raptors from last year, Jacoby and Ulrich, he has added huge muscle on him. And as I said, he doesn't just have to play small forward at this point. He can guard power forwards, and it makes him even more versatile. Now, Jamison didn't have a good start of the game, but in the middle of the game, he started getting going. 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 1 assist, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, a +9 with 13 points for Battle. We've seen him have even better games, but it was a nice, solid start. And like I said, the thing about what I'm liking from seeing Battle early on is he has extra physicality on defense, guarding people, and also attacking the rim because he's bigger now. You can see how much bigger he is. I mean, people weren't even understanding who Jacoby Walter was when we were watching the game last night. With his hair chopped and a headband and the bigger, broader shoulders on Walter, we were not totally recognizing some of our rookies from last year. Let's just put it that way. Another star. I'm going to give 7 stars today because this was a rout, and this was a glorious rout for the Raptors. So I'm giving 7 stars. My 5th star is Ulrich Shamshay, who was very solid, very, very solid off the bench, a +23 in his plus minus. 19 minutes, 9 points, 4 of 6 from the field. He missed 1 free throw, 4 offensive rebounds for 6 rebounds altogether, 1 assist, 3 steals, 1 block. Shamshay was just really solid. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. He didn't have any moments where he looked like a deer in headlights, where he didn't know what he was doing. And they're very proud of him. He's very much been taking instruction very well from Coach Andrew Jones, Coach Wade, Coach Darko, and the work is showing in Shamshay right now. So, man, keep going, Ulrich. And I can tell you have a lot of joy this year in Summer League. You're a lot more savvy and experienced, and it's not like you're fish out of water. You're in there, and you're a little bit more comfortable, and we can tell on the court, and you're bigger too. That's the other thing. The man looks like he looks like a linebacker, honestly, seriously, with his body right now. 6 star. I'm going to go ahead and give the last 2 stars to the other J Rooks, or the J Softs, I should say. Jamal Shed was a leader in the game last night. He really set the frenzy from the start as the starting point guard. The feeding frenzy of attacking the ball handlers of the Bulls and absolutely harassing them. Jamal Shed was the tone setter for that. And 4 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, a +28 for Jamal with 9 points. Yeah, I just felt like he set the table in a lot of ways. He was a bona fide leader right from the start. We were shaky in the beginning, and maybe he had a little bit too much extra energy, and he had to calm down a little bit. But he got it under wraps, and he did a really good job of being the ringleader of the guys who are just like stealing and causing disruptions. In fact, we saw Shetty take a couple of charges. And that's a signature thing for Jamal Shed at this point. If he learned it from Davion Mitchell last year, or he's just gotten really good at it. But Shed is going to be like that Lowry now. That's going to take the offensive charge, sacrifice his body for the Raptors. Walter was steady and fine. He started really, really well. But, throughout the game, he had his moments here and there. Jacoby's added muscle to his arms, so his shot has to be altered and changed a bit. It was a really good sign that the first basket that Jacoby Walter made was he was coming in transition really quickly, and he stopped on a dime right at the 3-point line, and he shot a line drive 3 very confidently, and it went straight through. Now, that was a sign to me that this man was hungry to make some shots in the NBA game. And well, he right away he saw that he could do that. That's a deadly, nasty weapon. Like if this is going to be something that Walter is going to be good at, like a Steph Curry pull up three in transition, we're there. People are going to be in trouble for this because honestly, that shot that Jacoby made, that three that he made, his first points, that was phenomenal. And that was also when the Raptors hadn't really started getting things going yet. They were very shaky and not totally right with the passing to trying to get the ball to battle. And Castleton in particular was really rough at the beginning of the game. But Jacoby wasn't. Jacoby showed up with confidence and he nailed that three right away. And that set the tone for in some ways. Of course, he didn't make another three after that. 4 of 12 for Jacoby, 1 of 5 from three, 3 of 3 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, a plus 25 with 12 points. He could have scored more, but honestly, it was enough. And I really like that confidence on that three. That was something else. Now, we'll go give honorable mention to Colin Castleton. He was really shaky at the beginning, and in times he was pissing me off. But as the game continued to go on, it seemed like Castleton was figuring things out a little bit better, and he was very good on defense in the second half. His length was very helpful in disruption and rebounds and just kind of like altering shots. And he got more involved with his teammates and like really how they were trying to steal stuff. Well, him and Shamshay were kind of like inside. And if the Bulls were happening to get into the paint anywhere, which wasn't often, honestly, because we were stopping them with the lines of defense earlier out, like half court and at the 3-point line. But if they were able to get down low, Castleton and Shamshay were very much presence with their long arms and causing disruptions. So Castleton in 17 minutes, 5 points, a plus 12, 8 rebounds, including 4 offensive, 1 steal, 1 block, 3 turnovers. Yeah, in some ways it wasn't the most solid game by him, but we're going to see a double-double by Colin Castleton in Summer League before it's done. Other guys who got to play a little bit of time at the end of the game, of course, we had Chucky Hepburn out there for 14 minutes, 1 of 5 from the field. Didn't shoot the best, but he was definitely active with defensive energy, doing a lot of good stuff. 3 rebounds for Chucky, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, plus 7 with 2 points. Chucky was actually the backup point guard. It was very interesting. He was the guy that they were using other than Shed to be the guy who was collecting the ball and kind of dribbling around. And he didn't do bad. He got 4 assists. So, interesting that they utilized Chucky as the backup point guard last night. Guys that got in garbage time late. We did get a look at Clifford Omarui, who's absolutely a giant man. Tyson Degenhart got in there for a sec. Didn't take a shot, but got a rebound. Quincy got in for a bit. Quincy Guerrier, he made 4 points, plus 7 in 6 minutes. Jarkel Joyner was very active, and like he was just more of that really frenetic, crazy energy at guard, stealing the ball. And he's like that. He's like a little baller guy. He will score a lot quick, Jarkel Joyner. And then Tyreek Key also got in and bombed the 3 and put 1 in there near the end too. So good to see the bench getting garbage time and getting a little taste of things. Of course, the New Zealand kid was the only guy who didn't get in. And Collie Murray-Boyles, of course, was hurt. So just an overall great game. A lot of fun for Raptors fans to watch. A lot of fun for the Raptors team to watch in person, sitting at the sideline also. So, yeah, there's my 7 stars of the game. Number 1, Elijah Martin. AJ Lawson, number 2. Jonathan Mobo, number 3. Jamison Battle, number 4. Ulrich Shamshay, number 5. Jamal Shed and Jacoby Walter, 6 and 7. So all the 5 rookies from last year getting stars of the game in the game last night. So we see them building from what they were last year. Shaq Lindsay's in the house. Great to see you, Shaq Lindsay. Thank you for supporting this channel as a member. I appreciate you. I told you guys about Elijah Martin, 2nd round steal, plays like D Wade. That's an interesting comparison, Dwayne Wade. Yeah, I mean, I see Russell Westbrook in him just because of the pure athleticism. But there's other players I've seen in him too last night. There was one point last night where he was dribbling the ball up the court, and in some ways he looked like Damon Stoudemire dribbling the ball up the court with his really strong, broad shoulders and arms. And the way he had his dribble style was ahead of him, kind of like Mighty Mouse used to do for us in the first year of the Raptors as the rookie of the year in the inaugural Raptors season. I saw a shade of Damon Stoudemire as far as the stature and the very strong shoulders and arms, just like the Arizona Wildcat Damon. So, yeah, I saw a little bit of that in him. Not saying he's like any of these guys, but Totally. But there's some comparisons in some ways here. G saying, what a balanced team. We had threes, we had dunks, we had alley oops, we had passing, we had steals, we had hard nosed defense. Yeah, I don't know how many summer league teams at Vegas are going to do well without their lottery pick like we did. You know what I'm saying? Like we're missing Colin Murray Boyles, and that didn't matter. In some ways, it's like if Colin had any jitters, it's like, well, I see my team just blow out the Bulls like they were nothing. I feel really good, and he should come in with some swagger and just add to it on Sunday against the Magic. Yeah, I really love what we saw out there. Not only did we see, obviously, it was the guards who were the leaders of the defense and what they were doing, but there really was a presence in the front court with Castleton and Shamshay and Mobo that was very part of the defensive overall scheme that was very, very top notch by the Raptors last night. So, of course, Hepburn and Martin and Shed, they were really, really dogging them. But if they got past them, well, we did have some shot blockers that were protecting the rim as the next line of defense. And that's fantastic. Defense first, and all of a sudden your defense makes your offense really good. And that was a huge part of it last night. We'll go over the box score with the team stats very, very soon. Shaq Lindsay, always good to see you, man. Yeah, always good to see G also, man. Kareem's here. Kareem Thomas, what's up, Butt Dialer? Impressed with Battle. He came ready to shoot. Yeah. Battle's a fun player. The thing I like about our guys is they really do genuinely are cheering for each other. It's amazing. Like, let's do the Instagram stories real quick because this will tell a lot. First of all, we got Brandon Ingram up, and he's got the picture of the guys from the court side. There's Emmanuel, Scotty, Oshai, RJ, Grady Dick, Brandon and his son, Yaka Pirtle, and Sandro Mamu. But he's got is a green on there and a shamrock and a green heart. What the hell are you trying to say, Brandon Ingram? You're not a Celtic. You're a Raptor. So why the hell would you put that shamrock on there, my guy? Jonathan Mobo with some scenes from the ballroom at the Wynn Casino, about black and white picture. And there's some action from the Summer League game at Cox Pavilion last night. Jonathan making a free throw. And then he's putting on blast Elijah Martin's poster right here. This is the thing. His teammates. Hello, Elijah Martin. Your teammates love you. They're going to be putting on blast. If you're going to put dunks like that, they're going to be posting it. And there's the great score, 116-72. You got to love that, man. Elijah Martin posting his dunk on his, and he's rooting in another one. So he's like, another one. It's like, this is just something he does. I mean, he did it in the tournament in March Madness. He was throwing it on people's heads in the national championship game. So it's like, why wouldn't we expect in the highest stakes of college basketball that this man couldn't come in and do this in Summer League right away in the NBA? Yeah, another one, and there'll be more. There's going to be a lot of these. God forbid the man gets hurt, because I want to see this man have athleticism like this for a long time, because he's going to be making NBA action fantastic again. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, Sheddy, we got the picture of him on game day, Shed Van Vliet. He was the poster picture for the game yesterday on Raptors Admin. You got to love that. And there's the score. That's right. The leader loves the score. There's no selfishness in this. A very balanced attack by the Raptors team overall. A lot of like good contributions for like 8 or 9 Raptors in the game last night. And that's what gets you where you got to with that score being so high and so wide. Sandro Mamu posting the picture of the crew together. It's fantastic. Scotty's got such a bright smile wearing his shirt. And then RJ's got his hair twisted up. And we see Emmanuel's wearing a Derek Jeter shirt, which I'm kind of like, what are you doing, bro? You doing? But Grady was there too. And of course, Grady was sitting with his girlfriend, Carla Lessing, next to him. And then, of course, Oshai's fiance, Avery, was sitting in between them too. So it's kind of cool to see the guys with their ladies at the game also. There, Jameson Battle on his Instagram putting Elijah Martin's big dunk on blast. Yeah, he caught that guy. I don't even know that guy's name that he dunked on. I should probably go find out who his victim was. Let's see. There's Emmanuel quickly putting his squad on blast. Love to see the Raptors that were on the sidelines posting the group together. It's a good group. Kyle Lowry on the links with Zach LaVine and Austin Reeves. And, of course, we know Kyle Lowry around this time of year does celebrity kind of golfing tournaments. So there he is with goofy-ass Austin Reeves and Zach LaVine. I mean, I can't fault the man. He just loves golf. I won't judge him for who he's golfing with. How about that? Yeah, Kyle's out there putting in the swings, always putting them swings, making that butt turn as he turns with his swing. Yeah, he was out there golfing with these guys. I don't know. It is what it is. Zach Levine's cool. Austin Reeves, he's a fraud. RJ Barrett putting the crew, the sideline crew, the vets sitting on that one side. They were really active. Like they were really jumping up. I mean, it was funny to see the two sides of the court going crazy. And the crazy thing was the Raptors on the summer league team and the vets who were sitting in the audience were going crazy over defensive plays. Like we would steal the ball or make them put it out of bounds, and everybody would flip out and be cheering and jumping around and stuff like that. I love that energy from the Raptors. And it's great when it's not just like a huge dunk like Elijah Martin's that gets them out of their seats. It's a great defensive play and a steal by the Raptors also. I love that so much. Wubbs, Jacoby Walter in the black and white summer league picture from the ballroom. And then also the big dunk by Elijah Martin being celebrated by Jacoby Walter also. There's no jealousy here. They're very happy for everybody and each other. AJ Lawson posting that his 22 points team defense helped the Raptors secure a blowout win over the Bulls. That's exactly right. Good job, AJ. Good job repping our city and Brampton and the Toronto Raptors franchise that you love so much since a kid. Grady Dick went to Give Back Weekend. It's in Wichita, Kansas. And I guess it's in August, on August the 10th and August 11th, the Grady Dick charitable golf tournament and also his basketball camp will be going down in Wichita. So be ready, Wichita, for Grady Dick Give Back Weekend basketball camp and the celebrity golf tournament. That's right. There's Grady showing highlights from his summer league experiences the last 2 years before. And it must feel nice to go and graduated from summer league. Grady, you are a bona fide vet because you do not have to play in summer league. And that's fantastic for you, sir. Fantastic indeed. Also, there's the picture of the group. All these guys posted it, reposted it like crazy. It's like Oshai, Emmanuel, RJ, all of them keep reposting this. Brandon Ingram reposted it. Sandro reposted it. There's Grady with Carla. And also, no, that's Avery. You can see there. Carlos leaned back. And then you can see Yak there with him. He's smiling real big. Coach Andrew Jones, proud of the Raptors winning the Summer League, posting it on his Instagram. There he is with Coach Cerise in that picture. And then boom, there's the score. Scotty Barnes writing this. I love our team is what he said. Love our team. And it's a big picture of all these guys. I love our team. See, this is the thing. I knew Scotty was going to be there. You know, they were saying everybody's here in Vegas right now except Scotty. We're not sure if Scotty's coming. He's expected to come. Of course, that man's going to be there. Of course, that man's got to be there to help. It's like, you know, he's going to show up. You know, Scotty's got to show up because he's got to be there for support. He's got to be there for calling things out and clapping and getting this referee straight. Scotty will not let the Raptors down. He's going to show up and he'll be there. And he's involved. And even though he's not even in summer league, he's involved. It's crazy, man. Scotty, we love you. And I love that you love your team so much. That's right. Kelly Olynyk grilling the steak on the steak. That's right. He's in San Antonio. You can go on and get a barbecue going. Thank God you avoided playing for the Wizards this year, Kelly. I'm so happy about that. Savannah Hamilton has got her goddess braids on. And man, they're crazy. They're crazy. She's obsessed with goddess braids. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, go look at Savannah Hamilton's Instagram stories. You'll know what I'm talking about. Raptors admin really happy about the game last night. Of course, posting the score updates throughout the game and the starting lineup and all the great stuff about the game last night. Toronto Tempo putting Teresa Resch on blast. Got to love that. Let's see who else we got. Amari Moore is celebrating that somebody is taking a contract. Trace Tinkle or something like has made a contract. There's your Instagram stories for today. Raptors win. That's the story right there. Raptors win, baby. That's right. Fiercely saying AJ Lawson making a strong case to stay with the team, rooting for him. Our defense was disruptive, causing 33 turnovers, I believe. Beautiful and everyone engaged, although Castleton was meh. He got better and better as the game went on. He started a little bad, but he got better and better as the game on. And honestly, he did the things that I want him to do later in the game. And that's just be a big, long arm presence, a shit disturber, somebody who's going to make it harder on a team we're playing to get anything going down low. And he may have missed some bunnies. Like there was a couple of shots where I'm like, come on, man, you can't miss that, Colin. You're that tall and you're that close to the basket. You should not miss that. But, you know, the stuff he was doing with rebounding and defensive presence is very valuable. is very, very, very valuable, even though he did have some weird bunnies that he missed. He really did. Nins is here. Good to see our man, our admin for the Discord server, and our man in Philly. He's on the enemy lines. This man is living in the city of brotherly love, but he is a Raptors freak. Mr. Nins, good to see you, sir. Raptors basketball finally here. Woo! That's right. That's right, Nins. And I'm going to give you a dunk for just being a badass and being a great contributor to the Raptor Freak channel. So, Nins, you're on with 33 now, your 11th dunk of the year. Yeah, that man is our Raptor Freak in Philly, baby. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's see what else we got. James is saying Con Knipple looks like a bust. Is that a joke? You're saying Con Knipple? Are we being conned by a nipple and he is a bust? Yeah. Oh, I will keep abreast of this news. How about that? Oh, Lex, dad jokes and bad booby dad jokes. Yeah. He has conned us with his nipples and he is a bust. It's too early to say this for sure. But your first impression is that, yeah, he was the Charlotte pick. Yeah, he was very high up. He was like the 4th pick, right? 4th or 5th pick in the draft. And he was maybe a reach at that point. There were a lot of good players still available when the Charlotte Hornets selected Con Knipple. So, yeah, I mean, in some ways they were comparing him to Chris Mullin. And I'm like, okay, Chris Mullin, this is the latest Chris Mullin. Well, you weren't impressed with him? He wasn't looking that good. He's a bust. He's a bust. I don't even know if you knew you were making a joke, James, but in some ways, I'm going to give you another dunk for that. Yeah, because you said that Con Knipple is a bust. I don't know. The very childish side of me in this is just like loving the wordplay. So, James, you got the 10 dunks now. You're at 30. Oh, you Con Knipple is a bust. I don't know why that's so funny to me. All right, let's see. Fiercey saying Jacoby setting the tone with his three-pointer in that other bucket. The one where he fell down, like he was underneath the basket and kind of over, and he kind of flipped it up in there. It just shows the scorer, the try and get it in the basket at all costs kind of mentality of Jacoby Walter. You know, you got fouled and pushed underneath, and he still managed to get the and one. So yeah, you gotta love that. You gotta love that. The commentator praised his verticality. I'm glad they were not too negative towards us and did say we would be a playoff team. Yeah, I mean, the overall, this is the way it kind of works with ESPN coverage of the Raptors, is that, you know, the people who are in charge, they're going to make us look bad. They're going to not put us on blast. They're not going to put us in graphics. They're not going to, you know, they were even doing, they were trying to hype up the other games after, like at the end of the Pistons-Knicks game that was happening before the Raptors took the court against the Bulls. They were hyping up every game except for the Bulls and the Raptors. They were like, oh, and on ESPN, you can watch these two teams play. And you can watch these two teams play after that. But they didn't even like preview or promote the Raptors game. It's like, oh, and if you stick around on this channel, you can watch the Raptors play the Bulls. No, they were telling people to switch to ESPN and watch the other summer league action. Well, the people that didn't do that got treated to a badass game of the Raptors doing some badass stuff with like Alijah Martin throwing it down. So you know what? Don't listen to ESPN. Is trying to promote other stuff. But see, Steve Smith's a smart guy. You know, former NBA player, Atlanta Hawk, Steve Smith. And he understands basketball. And in some ways, like his credibility is on the line. He could sit there and sewer us and say all kinds of crazy shit. But in some ways, he has to remember there's a lot of Raptors fans watching. And in some ways, they're going to be like, yeah, you're an asshole. You're a hater. And then we'll turn on him and we can come after people, Raptors Nation. We are very powerful in that way. So in some ways, he has to be realistic and real about this. And he could, you know, they hear Kendrick Perkins' prediction for the Raptors going against the mainstream mentality of what the Raptors will be doing this year. And Steve Smith can look at it and say, well, look, the Raptors culture is obviously badass. Look at what they're doing defensive energy wise. And look, I can see over there sitting in the front row a pretty good group, assortment of guys like R.J. Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Emmanuel Quickley. That, yeah, I don't have to be a rocket scientist or Nostradamus to predict that the Raptors may actually be really good this year. So in some ways, it's their credibility is on the line. It's the execs at the top that will not promote us in the advertisements to talk about us. But the commentators, they have their, you know, their reliability or credibility on the line. And if they don't tell the truth and it comes around, they're going to look stupid down the road. So that's why people like Dennis Scott and Steve Smith will come around and say, yeah, the Raptors could be a very good playoff team this year. That's right. Because they got to do that. Listen, they may not promote us or put in the graphics or anything like that, but they will tell the truth if they're forced to. That's right. Fiercely saying, AJ mentioning our culture. That was beautiful. Trevor J, you were lucky to attend that game live. Happy for you. Yeah, it was really awesome. So, Trevor, you were sitting right behind Scotty and all them? Did you get to interact with them at all? I mean, I'm sure they were like Alcatraz, just like the gym, the ballroom gym. That you can't, you can't get close to them because they, it's summer league and there's a lot of players for every team that are showing up and watching their teams play. So there's a lot of security, and there probably is a very much a divide between having access to the players sitting at courtside and being in the crowd. But who knows? Maybe Trevor did get to rub shoulders with a couple of the Raptors players being at the game. You said you were sitting right behind our Raptors. That's very, very cool. Very, very cool. So Scotty was in your way. Trevor's like, down in front, could you please sit down and stop clapping so much? Jeez. You're disrupting the game. Who is that guy? Oh, wait, it's Scotty. It's Scotty. Oh, keep doing it then. It's Scotty. Okay, let's see. Martin's real fun to watch. Yeah, Nako, I agree with that. He is real fun to watch. He's a dog. He's got an aura. He's got, as Josh Lewenberg said after the game, I'm going, hold up now. I'll be right back. I'm going to buy Alijah Martin stock. He's buying stock in our Alijah Martin. They had that going on for a while where you could buy stock in players and how they're doing and stuff like that. I don't know if they still have that. I remember them talking about that a couple of years ago where you could actually buy stock in players and play the stock market of NBA players. And depending on how better they get, you get your money value to go up. Isn't that interesting? So I think even though Lewenberg was joking about buying Alijah Martin stock, if there is really such a thing, you might really want to do it. You might really want to do it. If this man's coming in like Fred VanVleet at this level, coming in second round pick on a two-way, and he's going to elevate his game to be in something in the NBA for a long time. Yeah, you might want to get that Alijah Martin stock early, just like somebody got Apple stock in like 1983. That's just what I'm saying, That's like you might want to get that stock. That's right. That's right. Nako saying Ryan Nebhard outshone Cooper his game. Yeah, you're a couple days behind. I know you haven't been here, Gerald. We covered the first night of Summer League, and I said basically that Aurora's Ryan Nebhard was the best player on the first night of the Summer League, winning the game for the Mavs against the Lakers. And he had the big three to win the game. So, yeah, salute to Ryan Nebhard, a great Canadian, and doing such a great job. But Cooper was the one who fed him the ball. So we'll give him that. Fiercely saying, I felt the barfing every time the broadcast announced the team was under new ownership. I mean, we got it the first two times you said it. We don't need a reminder. They did Masai dirty. Yeah, new management. Yeah, they did say that a couple times. But in some ways, it is what it is. It's going to hurt for a little while. But once again, we're going to always carry the spirit of Ujiri with us. And like I said, a lot of influence on our team forever, and a lot of culture and a lot of like different things. So we should be proud. And I want to think somewhere, maybe not, he wasn't, maybe because he wants to take the break, that he was watching that game last night and hopefully he really enjoyed it. But who knows? Maybe he didn't. Maybe in some ways he needs some post Raptors time away from them and not even being involved. It's like he could be watching the Raptors play in Summer League and he has all the instincts to be in his old role as the president of the Raptors and what he would do. And in some ways, maybe he's got to take a step back and not even watch them. I don't know. I would say it's 50-50 whether Ujiri watched the game last night or not. And if he did, he was very proud. Let's just put it that way. Maybe he just got up this morning and saw the box score and he's very happy. I don't know. In some ways, he needs time to heal and be away from the team and kind of plot and scheme his next moves and what he wants to do with his life. But yeah, I wonder if he watched the game last night. I was actually really pondering that. I wonder if Masai watched this game. I wonder if he did. I hope he did. Because honestly, I want him to enjoy the Raptors' success going beyond him. Because honestly, much like Siakam, his success is Masai's success forever. It's the same thing for the Raptors. Our success as a team and a franchise is Masai's success forever. He's just too integral in our history and our culture after 12 years that he cannot be anything else. He is absolutely a part of all of our success going forward. That's right. That's right. That's right. G saying, yes, the announcers said they thought they would be a playoff team. It was a pleasant surprise. At all the team being together, even Mamu was amazing. Team chemistry. Yeah, I think this is a really special, important time of the year. I know Scotty loves Vegas, like Summer League. He just loves it. He loved it when he played in it, but he's also loved the last couple of years where he has not played in it. And he gets to just come and support his teammates. Of course, this is a great thing because we have such great participation by our veterans. They're all there. They're doing full team practices in the gym, in the ballroom. All these guys can suit up. Brandon's healthy now. These guys are healthy. So they can all get in there and actually start running like full team practices with Darko and the Summer League roster. And there's a lot of orientation that comes from that. Like imagine you're Colin Murray Boyles and Alijah Martin, and you're doing the ballroom workout, and Scotty's there with you, working out with you, with RJ and Jakob and Brandon Ingram. Yeah, you're going to start to get the feel of what the team's nucleus and how they're going to feel with each other at Summer League behind closed doors in the Wynn Casino ballroom. Yeah, so I'm excited because they're all present there. Don't think that they're not putting on their clothes and getting in there and running some scrimmages with the Summer League roster, the vets that are in Vegas also. Yeah, that's happening. Fiercely saying my 5 stars of the game were Martin, Lawson, Walter, Mobo, and Battle. Those are fantastic stars. You can't go wrong in this case for sure. Those are fantastic stars. Stargate's here. Good to see Stargate. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. AJ really campaigning heavy to be on the team. My 5 stars, AJ Lawson, Ulrich Shamshay, Alijah Martin, Jacoby Walter, Jamison Battle. Colin Castleton looked bad for 3 quarters, but kind of woke up a bit in the 4th. Yeah, I kind of saw that too. You know, it was kind of a little earlier for me. In the 3rd, he started to really have an impact more and more. But yeah, Castleton was shaky in the beginning, but he started to get more and more in form as the game went on. The 3rd quarter, they absolutely broke the game open, and that's really when they won it. But then they piled on more in the 3rd and made the lead even bigger. So yeah, fantastic game by the Raptors. And I really like the coaching style of James Wade. In some ways, look, this is Summer League, and they don't play every team in the NBA in the Summer League. And point differential will matter in determining which teams are going to get to go to the Summer League championship. So James Wade running the score up on the Bulls is really good because honestly, we had one of the biggest margins of victory in Summer League so far, if not the biggest. So this will really help us getting such a huge victory against the Bulls last night because point differential could matter and who's determined to play for Summer League championship. So this is a big win, and James Wade has an aura to him. He's a very good coach, and he's very casual and good guy. And you could tell that it's a different feel when you see how somebody coaches and what they do. And I felt like Wade was amazing. He is actually really, really good as the coach last night. Fiercely saying the broadcast showed the Bulls depth chart. I was so unimpressed, but when they showed ours, wow, I was saying to myself, we are deep. I'm telling you, fam, bench mob 2 loading. Yeah, Fiercely, I'm going to give you a dunk for that. You're speaking the truth. You're speaking the truth, my lady. I'm telling you right now, you are speaking the truth. Bench mob 2 is loading up. 83 dunks for Fiercely Salsera at this point. She's up there. Yeah, I believe in this. And it's people like Shed and Alijah Martin that make me believe this. I'm telling you right now. You know, I love that Alijah took the comparison of Norman to his game. He was like, they were asking him, hello and welcome. They said, you know, you kind of remind us of a former Raptor. And he didn't even say who it was, William Liu. It's like Elijah Martin said, Norman Powell, right? He's like, yeah, how did you know I was going to say Norman Powell? It's like, well, maybe because Elijah Martin is very on, like, trying to be like Norman Powell. And in some ways, if we got Shed Van Vliet and then Elijah Powell, look out. Those guys could be those roles in the bench mob coming up real soon. Jonathan Mobo playing a little bit like somebody like Siakam or something like that. You know what I'm saying? We can have a new bench mob this year. And all that really means is that we have a steady backup team that could absolutely be starters and absolutely rip up the other team's backup team. And I think we got something like that. And this early signs in this first game of Summer League, we've seen it. The Bulls team is the best Summer League team. We're going to play this Summer League, guys. That was the best team. That roster was the best collection of talent that we're going to see. I'm telling you right now, the Magic are garbage. And the other teams, the Western teams, now the Warriors may be okay, but the Nuggets shouldn't be that great either. So yeah, this may have been the best team against us. Now, Emmanuel Miller did not play. He was there on street clothes, the brother of Leonard Miller. I was very disappointed in that. And also, Josh Primo did not get in the game. He was sitting on the bench, and we saw him at the game, but he did not get in the game. Toronto's own Josh Primo. That's right. Kaz is here. Good to see Trucker Kaz. He's saying that Shamshay block was so nasty. Yeah, the great thing about the block that Shamshay did was that was a gimme basket for the Bulls. But Shamshay was like, no, nothing easy. And he made an effort to recover and meet the man right at the front of the rim. And it was ambiguous whether it was a foul or not. And the initial call was a foul, but we challenged it and they saw it was very, very clean. And that was awesome. And I love that Shamshay had the confidence after the play to call for the challenge. He's like, no, I got him clean and I know I did. And he did. And that Michael Smith said, yeah, the Raptors win the challenge. Now they've used 2 challenges. They don't have another one, but they were 2-0 on challenges last night. And that block was nasty. You're right. The thing is, he didn't have to do that. He could have just let that man go up and get that basket because he was kind of out of the play, but he recovered from outside the lane to run at him and get it and get at him and say, no easy baskets. And that's something we want to see from Ulrich more and more. And that effort and coming to recover, that is really, really good. Really, really good. That was one of his best strengths coming in as a project, was recovering and coming back and blocking shots after people think they got it. And, well, we saw it on display in that play, that's for sure. Fiercely saying special mention to Shamshay. He showed great improvement. He's really feeling more comfortable. You can tell his energy is more comfortable. And like he's loves the camaraderie of his guys. I mean, it really is time accrued and comfort and feeling like, I'm a part of this group and I feel some security in that. And, I'm not like, in some ways, my position on this team is pretty safe because I'm a project and people have told me that I'm valued and that they want to see me have a long-term goal of getting somewhere. And also James Wade said after the game that Darko's been very explicit with Ulrich Shamshay, saying that he has a very much a vision for who Shamshay should be as a player. And because Darko has illustrated and told Shamshay in a very explicit way that he understands that Shamshay is growing into something very much in the vision of what Rajakovic thinks he should be. And he loves it. He's like taking that structure and he's going with it. And that's the thing. It's like he's going somewhere that Darko's telling him to go and what he thinks he could be. Because that's part of what Darko does. All of his players and his secret to development is he has a future vision of each player. And he's basically describing Scotty, like, Scotty, this is what I think you could do. If you do this and you listen to me, I will get you to this point in 2 years from now. And that's kind of what Darko's strategy is and how he develops guys and gets them so good, like Desmond Bane in the past. So he has a vision for Ulrich, and Ulrich is bought in. And because there's a finished product that Darko's explained to him, Shamshay's not wasting any time in his progress and getting better as a player because there's an idealized vision of what he should be down the road. And there's no wasted kind of like, well, just do this, fuck around and do this, and maybe you'll become a good player. No, they have a very specific idea about what they're building Shamshay into. And Shamshay has got the great structure and infrastructure around him with the team and the help to get him to be successful, to get to that place that Darko sees. And I love that so much. You're exactly right. I'm very proud of Shamshay. He's really grown up a lot as a basketball player and more importantly, as a human being and a mature man. And that's fantastic. Kaz saying good morning. Fiercey saying 51 minutes interview with Billy Donovan during the game. Just came to see his team get blown out. This is common. People were wondering, why are they talking to Billy Donovan for so long? No, they do this in Summer League. I mean, we've had Masai or Bobby come and sit down with the announce crew at Summer League for a whole quarter, just like Billy Donovan. So this is not uncommon. And I have no problem with Billy Donovan sitting there. It's Bulls. We're playing the Bulls. And the Bulls fans want their coverage of their team too and to hear their coach. So this is not uncommon to have like somebody sit in for a quarter like Drake would with the Raptors broadcast team. So, we've had Masai come and sit in Summer League in the last 2 years and sit just as long as Billy Donovan was there also. Total domination. That's right, Kaloy. Good morning to you, Carlo JS. Kareem saying, aside from on-court action, as a father, seeing Brandon Ingram bringing his daughter and taking team pictures with her speaks volumes to me. This team isn't close-knit. This is family. Is that his daughter? I thought that was his son that was in that picture. Am I wrong? Am I stupid or something like that? I thought that was his son. Is that a boy or a girl? Let me look real close. I can't tell. You sure that's his daughter? I don't know. Either way, I have a hard time. I don't want to judge what sex kids are. I wasn't totally sure if Chris Boucher had a daughter or a son for a while. I'm pretty sure he has a son at this point. So I'm not really sure. You thought that I thought that was his son in that picture, but maybe that's his daughter. I don't know. In some ways, kids, NBA players' kids are none of my business. I have no idea what sex Scotty's child is. I have no idea if Scotty Barnes has a son or a daughter right now. And I have no idea for sure if Chris Boucher's child is a boy, but it seems like he's a son because he's kind of made it more clear that. And I don't know if that kid that was standing in front of Brandon Ingram was his son or a daughter. I can't tell. I'm not even looking at the kids hardly at all. Seriously, because hey, we don't need the kids are off limits. They're just private, part of private lives of players. So I have no idea who that kid was that looked like Brandon Ingram and looked like an offspring of Brandon Ingram. But I thought that was his son. But you think that's his daughter? I don't know. Maybe we need to do a poll. Maybe somebody can fact check this and go look it up or something like that. Isaac Campbell saying Elijah Martin equals rookie of the year. Man, if they give it for electrifying dunks, maybe. I don't know if he's going to get the stats. I don't know if he's going to start. We know that usually the rookie of the year is a starter and somebody's going to get some stats. So I don't know if this is likely. I mean, if they base it all on sizzle and not steak, maybe, because he's going to have some highlight reel by the end of this year. Oh, yeah. And he's going to be bringing attention to our team. And he might even bring some more ticket sales for Scotiabank Arena. Just from people are going to be like, yeah, I want to see this new guy, Martin, dunk. Seriously, there may be a little bit of a taste of a level of insanity in Toronto because of Elijah Martin. Elijah Sanity. That's not right. Martin Sanity. Vince Sanity. Martin Sanity. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Martin Sanity. Let's see. G saying players like Martin and Shed have that real dog in them. They really do. This can't be taught. It's part of their fabric. This is what Bobby Webb's looking for. These kind of dudes. That's why it's like when they took Elijah Martin, I was like, wait, this guy's little. What is this? Why are you doing this? I have no idea who this guy is. And then I dug deeper, and then I realized, yeah, high dog factor. That's for you, Patrick Beverly. You yippee puppy. That's right. High dog factor and Shed and Martin. It's almost like Patrick Beverly dared our team. He's like, I look at the Raptors roster and I don't see any dogs, maybe some puppies. Man, boy, did Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri hear that. And they're like, yeah, you want to see dogs? We're going to unleash a dog pound on this team. And they're going to be like the Baja Men. Who let the dogs out? They're on the Toronto Raptors now. Who let the dogs out? Yeah, they're on the Toronto Raptors now. I mean, you didn't think we have dogs, Patrick Beverly? Well, I hope you watched that game last night with us. You probably didn't, you sorry ass. That's right. Let's see. Trevor J saying AJ Lawson says he works with Coach Marie on his shooting. Yeah, we were wondering last night. Fiercey was wondering if Mary Andrade was at the game because we didn't see her at first, but she was there. I saw her in the end of the game sitting on the bench with Coach Wade and Coach Jones and Coach Curry. And so, yeah, he was there. She was there. Sorry, she was there. And Darko was sitting with Delaney and a couple of the other coaches at the end of the court. So there was kind of half the Raptors coaches were actually coaching the summer league team, and then like Darko and Pat Delaney and Jama were sitting at the end of the bench at end of the court, kind of the other coaches kind of sitting at the other end, letting James Wade do what he does. That's right. It was good stuff. That's right. Let's see. Monique is here. Good to see the super fan Monique Lawrence saying practice interviews were great by Josh. Yeah. I'm glad. Thank you, Josh Lumenberg of TSN, for coming in there, getting good interviews. Also, William Liu and the Hello Welcome podcast people doing a great job covering the team at Vegas and getting good interviews with different people like Jakob and Sandro and Darko and Elijah and everybody. Really, really good stuff. Really, really, really good stuff. Let's see what else you guys are saying. I want to make sure I don't miss any of the comments. So I'm coming back up. I see Criscom's here. And it's really good to see Monique is in the house with lots of comments here. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Okay, here we go. Cass at MJ. That Donovan interview was so annoying. Where was Darko's 30-minute interview? Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're going to do that. Like, we'll probably get a long interview in the Orlando game. like where we might have Darko sit for a quarter on Sunday. So it'll happen if they give fair time to everybody. We'll get it. And somebody's like I said, this is normal for summer league. They like to have somebody from each team come and sit down and talk about what's going on with the team. So it'd be worse if they came and interviewed somebody from a totally different team that had nothing to do with our game. But because we're playing the Bulls, it's fair that Donovan's there. Neil's saying, great win. Teams will be gunning for them now. I don't know if they got the juice, though, man. They can gun for us. Who the fuck is going to gun for us? You know, what are you going to do, Orlando? Come on down. You're next. Like Goldberg. Who's next, Goldberg? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, they're going to be coming in the ring just like somebody came in to fight Bill Goldberg on Sunday. Orlando Magic, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Summer League. Yeah. I don't listen. They got Tristan Da Silva. They got Jace Richardson. And after that, Orlando ain't got nothing. So we're going to run them off the court. Who's gunning for us, Neil? Who are we worried about? Who's gunning for us? Nobody gunning for us because they can't handle this. They can't handle the frenzy. They can't handle the handsiness of Chucky Hepburn and Elijah Martin and Jamal Shed. They can't handle that. No. It's going to be the same thing with everybody because we got our shit together. They're all on the same page. We have some cohesiveness and connection that the other teams don't have because they ain't played together like we have. Nah, we're going to run all these teams off the court. You saying they're gunning for us? Who cares? They ain't got shit to deal with what we got. That's right. That's right. We're deep and we're badasses, and we're coming for that Summer League championship this year. That's right. That's right. Nako's saying Miami isn't going to go anywhere this year. Yeah. Why did you say that Powell's something? There's no news about Norman Powell in some way. Don't be giving me no fake news, Gerald. Seriously, you need to elaborate on whatever your comment was about Norm. Who's Norm, first of all? Norm Rubenak? Who are you talking about, Norm? Who's Norm, first of all? I need to know what you're saying. You gave me a half-assed news blip, and it's not even true, I don't think. Monique is saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. What a win. Stars of the game, AJ, Elijah, Jamal, Jameson, and Ulrich. Yeah, those are good ones. Those are good ones. I had 7, so I threw in Jacoby, and also who's the other one that I'm missing there? Jacoby and Jonathan. Jonathan Mobo was very good last night. Jonathan. Let's see. Fiercely saying, thank you, Jakob, for believing in the vision. We will get the chip. In reference to Nako's statement, I think Malik Beasley is having financial hardships leading to the gambling. I heard he struggles. Yeah. Nako's saying, yeah, I think I saw a fake Shams account. Never mind. Yeah, don't fucking bring me this garbage, Gerald. Seriously, you better verify shit before you come in here. There's too many fake accounts out there. And man, that didn't even make no sense because he's bankrupt. How the hell is Norman Powell bankrupt? There is a little bit of an issue going on with him and Canadian tax officials, and it's absolute garbage. But that man has so much money. There's no way Norman Powell's bankrupt. You got to critically think, my man. You're a smart guy, Gerald. I know you're smart. You got to critically think about this. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying Elijah Martin gives me Norman Powell vibes. His aura and playing. I like the cutthroat attacking the rim, like I will take your head off kind of dunks. And that is Norman. Norman had that kind of stuff too. In some ways, Elijah's more impressive because he's a little bit smaller than Norman. So it'll be very interesting to see. Now, I don't know if he's going to do stuff like the shooting with Norman's three-point shooting. He looked good in the first game with his three-point shooting. But once again, Elijah Martin's not going to be dependent on for offensive load too much. The extra dunks and fun stuff like that, yeah, he'll get his chances. But I don't know how much he's going to be an offensive player in the NBA initially. He's going to have to go through the school of hard knocks with the defense and building up his game to be valuable in that way. And then he can maybe allow his offensive game to flourish and happen in the NBA also. Yeah. Shaq Lindsay saying that Common is garbage. So you saw Common Malawatch play for the Phoenix Suns yesterday, and you're like, wow, that guy is not that good. Well, maybe we did dodge a bullet. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe the hype train around Common Malawatch and Rich Paul diverting him to the Phoenix Suns really was a favor to us. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Mo's saying Elijah has the it factor. Can I say it early? I think you can say it. I think you can say it. I think this is a big hello, I'm in the NBA now moment. That's right. Stargate saying Shamshay looked like a giant out there. He just looks really broad-shouldered and long-armed and strong-armed. Strong-armed. And once again, the thing that I like the most about what Ulrich showed last night is he was way more often in the right positioning on defense to be effective in certain ways. This is something on the down low that's so important about defense. The very best defensive players in the NBA's history understand placement of yourself at all times. Because you can think, oh, I could stand wherever if the guy I'm guarding is to have the ball. Bullshit. You need to be a couple steps ahead and understanding how you're spreading your legs, how you're your arms out, and how you're hedging or turning or coming at different people, and how you recover and switch where you go, depending on where the ball gets thrown to by the other team's offense. So Shamshay, watching him, his defensive positioning as a team defender off the ball and in certain ways is very good because he can divert water even just by like facing a certain way. It's very much like Wembanyama in some ways. It's like if Victor's going to be facing a certain way, the offense is going to try and go around the other side away from him because those arms are long and he will block some shots. Well, Shamshay has that kind of shot blocking threat. So if he's positioned in certain ways by the Raptors defense, he can really kind of dissuade the other team from trying to go that way towards the basket. And knowing that kind of power that he has, you can funnel the offense you're playing against in different ways by having Shamshay do different things, standing in certain ways. And I think that's the acumen that I'm really enjoying to see. He started to show it on 905 right before he got hurt. And I was like, oh, Shamshay's really the anchor and the hub for Coach Andrew Jones in the 905 at this point. But then he got hurt right when he was really building on it. But good to see he didn't lose any of it. And he's picking up right where he left off before he got hurt in 905 midway through the season. So it's really, really good. Yeah, really, really good. Kazakhstan, I prefer to see Ulrich start over Castleton, in my opinion. I thought he would. I actually thought he would, but they didn't totally trust him to start last night. But who knows? Maybe that'll change over the course of Summer League. And we might get to see Shamshay start still by the end. Mo's saying no more Summer League for AJ Lawson after this 5-year already. Are you saying that they're saying he's not going to play anymore in the Summer League? Are you trying to say that he shouldn't have to play in Summer League after 5 years of playing? I'm not totally clear on your comment. Did they announce he's not going to play any more games? Because that's what it reads to me. No more Summer League for AJ Lawson. You just mean that he shouldn't have to play after playing for 5 years. I agree with you. In some ways, it's kind of crazy he's playing this year, honestly, in some ways. But he has to. This is his only route to make sure he's for sure on the Raptors. He's got to play in Summer League like this. He's got to. Ulrich looks amazing. I agree with that. Kareem saying, can we all just take a moment and reflect on our draft picks and undrafted players from last year? Nailed everything. Also, our pickups in AJ, Masai, Bobby were cooking, and it showed yesterday. This is something like in some ways there was a little bit more shine on this yesterday from Steve Smith and the announcers that they kind of admitted that the Raptors had a really good draft class last year. And that's the thing. They ignored us all last year. We didn't get any kind of like favor for, they talked so much about the Wizards having the absolute best rookie class last year, but we were second. In some ways, I'll admit maybe the Wizards did have a better rookie class than ours last year, but we were absolutely second. And the fact that we got 5 really good quality players at all 5 positions last year is a really big testament to the acumen and the greatness of Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster as a team. You hit on Jamal, you hit on Jameson, you hit on Ulrich, you hit on Jonathan and Jacoby. And that's amazing. That's 5 guys we brought in last year, and none of them are busts. None of them are busts. Every single one of those 5 guys can contribute to the Raptors this year and have a path in the future to being contributors in a good way for a Raptors championship team. So I'd say, look, that's amazing. Logical Raptors fanatic may talk about waste in teams and wasted draft picks, so much waste, Oklahoma City. But the Raptors, they really do take and get as much as they can out of every draft pick that they make. And the undrafted guys, look at our record with undrafted. Jameson Battle, Fred VanVleet. Come on now. This is true, man. They make us look real good. And I'm saying this right now. They are coming back around on the Raptors championship now and saying, oh, Norman Powell, this, OG, Fred, Pascal, this. And they said about that draft class with Fred, Pascal, and Jakob coming in, that 2016 Raptors draft class was amazing. And look at where it's gone to at this point. Like the levels of money that Fred and Jakob and Pascal have made. Well, I'm going to say this. The draft class for the Raptors in 2024 is going to be legendary in like the next 10 years. And part of it will be because Shamshay is such an amazing player by the time we get to Darko's vision for him. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be the last card that catches up. And everybody's going to be like, holy shit, they got Shamshay the same year they got Jacoby and Jamal. That's some of the stuff they're going to be saying in the next few years very soon about this Raptors draft class from last year. Stargate saying Kobe White always looks so miserable and unhappy. Yeah, the Bulls guys didn't look too happy to be there. At the end, we were blowing them out so bad. The Raptors guys got up and left. At the end of the game, they weren't sitting over there anymore. But the Bulls guys stayed there to the bitter end, feeling the pain and the sadness right up until the last buzzer. Kevin Huerter, yeah, Huerter is the right name. Huerter. Yeah, hurting to see his summer league team get trounced so bad. And that's not good for morale. Meanwhile, we got crazy Riz and aura around our team on both ends of the court, on both sides of the sideline. And meanwhile, the Bulls are down there looking like the dog died. Kevin Huerter, indeed. Hurting. That's right. Bench mob. Let's go. Bench mob 2.0. Let's go. Best since 2019. Let's go. That's right. Most saying the fact we outscored the Bulls at half says something. AJ's defense was so solid. Great interview, Yak. Yep, some fast hitting comments here by Mo, and all good, all good. Shaq Lindsay saying, I hope you guys see why they picked CMB over Noah and Common. Common looked good on Duke because of Flag and Khan, but in the NBA, he's going to struggle. I mean, I won't disagree with this. Shaq Lindsay, in some ways, was a warning person about Mala Watch earlier on this year. And, you know, I was never big on Noah Senge. I thought that he might be kind of interesting because he's got kind of an interesting Kevin Durant body. I mean, he does kind of look like Brandon Ingram's body type, watching him play against us on the Bulls. I did not see the highlights of comment, so I cannot specifically comment on Mala Watch for myself because I did not see the Phoenix highlights. But you know what? We want to see Colin still too before we determine any of this. But I do have a good feeling about Colin Murray-Boyle. I really, really do. Monique saying, again, let's keep it rolling. We stack. That's right. Most on cloud nine. I'm sorry. She is like a fish to water when the Raptors are playing. When the Raptors basketball games are on, she's her happiest. And boy, you give her a route in the first game of Summer League and everybody looking good and a highlight dunk by Elijah Martin. No, that's heaven on earth for the super fan Monique Lawrence right there. And she's ready. It's like, let's go get the magic now. She's like, let's not delay. There is a date today, and tomorrow we'll play once again, 6 p.m. Orlando Magic, you're next. That's right. You're next. Let's keep rolling. That's right. Criscom is here. Good. The great Criscom is here. Let's see how he's doing today. Remember last year when I called Battle should get that last spot? Just saying. I got him being the best three-point shooter on the team this year. Okay, Criscom's a big fan of Jamison Battle. What about Grady Dick? What about Jacoby Walter? What about Emmanuel Quickley? There's a couple of different guys that could vie for the best three-point shooter on the Raptors. Historically, I would say the best chance is Grady Dick right now with the second in Emmanuel Quickley. But Jamison Battle may be fourth or third on that list to me. I don't know. We'll have to see. I like your predictions with Battle. And, well, he's guaranteed for the season. So he ain't going nowhere. He's going to be on our team. We do have one roster spot open. And it's very cloudy about who will get it. I'm hoping it's just AJ Lawson, honestly. Castleton, you're great, but I'm sorry. In some ways, like even though I value having big depth, there's something just a little off about you. And in some ways, I don't mind going forward into this season with a Jakob, Sandro, Jonathan Mobo depth chart at center this season. And Castleton's not totally necessary. If it's a decision between Colin Castleton and AJ Lawson, I think I want AJ. Seriously, I think I do. Shaq Lindsay saying 7-footer with no skill is something we don't need. It's funny. Suns are trying to make him into a stretch five. How do you turn him into a stretch five when he can't dribble? Yeah, I mean, we did hear that Common was a project. And in some ways, you know what? It sounds like he's not anywhere near where Shamshay is right now. So I don't know. I'm going to have to look into the highlights of Common on Phoenix so far. And I'll probably see what Shaq's saying. G saying off topic, must have missed it. Why did they temporarily change the Raptors logo to that funny one? Okay, yeah, this is a trend that some NBA teams did last year. We're a little behind on this. This is not original Raptors fans. And some Raptors fans are saying we should make this goofy ass NBA paint logo our regular logo. No, you guys are idiots. This is just some goofy thing that NBA admin wanted to do. There's a account called NBA Paint, and it's actually a pretty funny account. It's a guy who uses an old like graphics program on a computer to draw like reimagined logos, and he's done all the NBA teams. And last year he did one for the Nuggets, I think, and the Nuggets used the logo that he made as their regular logo for their official account for like a part of the season. So the Raptors are kind of stealing an idea that other teams have already been doing, and that's to make the NBA Paint logo our official like picture for our Raptors account for a time being. It's temporary. It's goofy. It's childish, but it's also kind of fun. And the NBA Paint account is fun to watch and check out. And the reasoning for why he made that logo that way is fun. He's saying we wanted to make it a scary dinosaur, and it has a really wicked crossover. So it's goofy. And once again, it's not original NBA. Other teams have done it. The Raptors admin, you're not original for doing this. It's just, you're doing something that other teams did last year already. NBA Paint's a good account, though. Yeah. Kareem saying the bench counting down the 8-second violation with only one man pressing was crazy. That is unity. That is team spirit. That is camaraderie. That is all for one and one for all. And yeah, they were totally on the refs. In some ways, Michael Smith was probably laughing about the young Raptors and their vivaciousness and engagement in the game. Whether it was Scotty, like I said, on the other side of the court in plain clothes, getting on the refs and getting them to change some calls. And then the young guys on the bench, all about counting down 8 seconds and all kinds of going crazy. Somebody draws an offensive charge and they're just falling all over themselves on the bench. You got to love that kind of support, energy, and aura on our team. It's fantastic, guys. I'm telling you, man, Darko, people do not understand how much Darko fosters fun and just being together and connected, and guys really enjoying being on the Raptors and really getting together as a team. This is by far the effect of Darko, guys. And people that do not value this, you're idiots. We have never had this kind of connectiveness and positive happiness on the Raptors ever in the history of the Raptors, not in this kind of way. And it's solely, completely Darko Rajakovic's credit. Seriously, guys. And if people hate on Darko, just bring them that bullet of truth right there, because that'll shatter their bullshit right there. Well, have you ever seen the team so happy? Have you ever seen the team so connected and supportive of each other? There's no weird infighting and stuff like that. Sure, maybe on the down low, some of these guys are a little bit worried about other guys on the team taking minutes or rotation or this from them. But that's the fair competition of it. And you win it outright, well, you get what you get. And that's how it goes. That's right. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. That's right. Let's see. Kareem saying, is that Raptors logo OG's drawing from a few years ago? It kind of looks like it. Yeah. OG's art is like that. It is kind of like that. Yeah. OG drew the Raptors logo, and yeah, it looked just like that. You're exactly right, man. Exactly right. Monica's saying, love the commentary of the game last night, especially during Elijah's dunk. They were mostly pretty good. I don't like that Chris guy. The guy that Sam Mitchell gave his address on that one time, that dude was pissing Sam Mitchell off. So Sam Mitchell said, well, I'm going to tell everybody where your timeshare is in Florida. It's at this address, and this is at Chris Phillips or whatever his name is, Chris Miles or whatever. He's like, whoa, Sam, what are you doing? You putting my life on blast. He's like, yeah, I'll get you in trouble, motherfucker. You fucking with Sam Mitchell. There was a little bit of that with that guy. And then they had some weird clip with him before the game shooting shots. I didn't realize the man was so bottom heavy. I don't want to make any light of anybody's weight or anything. But, man, it's like the top half, you see it on TV, but then you didn't see him go out on the court. I'm like, whoa. But either way, Chris Miles, you're a jabroni. Steve Smith, you're a valued veteran of the NBA who knows what you're talking about. Dennis Scott, you're a little bit of a homer for certain teams. You're kind of annoying. But I have an affinity for you because of your early days in Orlando Magic when I was a fan. And I did actually get to meet Dennis Scott at the Tallahassee Mall a long, long time ago. And I got an autographed picture from Dennis Scott when I was an Orlando Magic fan before the Raptors existed way back in the day. So yeah, it's not a bad crew. We'll have to see how the crews go for the whole summer league. We're going to probably get some shitty crews that are disrespectful to us at some point. But the respect factor from the broadcast crew on NBA TV last night was good. It was fine. It was all fine. And it was a little dangerous with Chris Miles being there. Let's just put it that way. Little dangerous right there. That's right. Let's see. Kareem saying Shaq don't count out Common just yet. Well, he's a project, and we're going to come see if he's going to be any good in 4 years. Is he on a team that can develop him correctly? I don't know. Nothing's guaranteed. This man could be a bust. And in some ways, I'm leaning more towards Shaq Lindsay at this point than you, Kareem Thomas, as far as the declaration of what Common Mala Watch is going to be. That's right. Mo saying practice interviews were great by Josh. Kareem saying, yeah, and I don't know why the announcers are worried about the money we invested in our starting lineup. People watching money, but if they looked at it differently, they will see we're making a run in 2 years. You know, it's gaslighting. It's just what we started this stream with Trevor J. It's gaslighting. What they'll say is like, look at the Celtics. They invested so much money in Jason and Jalen. They won't talk about that. They'll say they're so smart. They've got such good players tied up for so long. You can look at it however you want. It's how they want to slice it. They want to slice it negatively. They say, oh, they got all these guys tied up with this money. Well, the money for the Raptors isn't as big as people like Devin Booker, SGA, or all this other stuff. We have a lot more leeway. In fact, the Raptors, the way they built their cap strategy is to have a lot of like very good superstars at a lower price instead of having like 2 or 3 top guys like Oklahoma City just locked up their guys. And then there's a little bit of a middle, and then like a lot of guys who are just getting paid very little. The Raptors have more of a cap structure with a very high starting 5 that are very equal in some ways with their pay. And in some ways, that may actually be a smart cap strategy in the new NBA. You know, instead of going all out like the Thunder just did for Chet and J-Dub with SGA, happy birthday, SGA, by the way. The Raptors are maybe having a more leeway by having 5 players that are right around and they're not as high up. I don't know. They can paint it however they want. You're exactly right, Kareem. And they're gaslighting when they say, oh, the Raptors and this and this. Well, why don't you fucking say that about any other team that you like? It's like you're either going to say that money is too much for teams you don't like, or you're going to say, oh, this is perfectly fine, and they're just investing in the future if they're teams you do like. So it's just gaslighting. Don't listen to them, and we're going to be fine. We may have to trade one of our players by the trade deadline to get under the apron, but that's not a big deal, and we've got time to decide who that's going to be. And I don't necessarily want it to be certain people, but we'll see what happens. I trust Bobby. And in spirit, still around the team, Masai. That's right. I trust them. Wayne saying, morning, Raptor Freaks. Shout out to the coach Wade and the summer league players. We haven't played Wade a long time for a performance like that. It's very nice to see that. It's a very nice, good step. And well, we're excited for tomorrow with Orlando. What a beatdown. Chi-Town fans calling their team bullshit is hilarious. That's the part of the fallout too. It's like we can overreact to summer league. It's still just summer league. We can feel all good. I'm wearing my championship hat today, but it's like it's still summer league. Bulls fans going to overreact to the failure of it. Okay, go ahead. I don't mind that. We'll overreact to the success of it. How about that? That's right. Most saying love Mamu's energy already. Sandra Mamu. Yeah, he's funny. He's talking in an interview saying that it's going to be great to be reunited with RJ Barrett after playing with him in high school at Montverde. And he's saying, hopefully this time, RJ will actually pass it this time. Ha, 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 ha. Very funny, Sandra. But, you know, if it's a choice between you and him shooting, I want him to shoot it. I'm sorry, big man. I want RJ to shoot it if there's a choice. That's right. Yeah, Wayne's saying Castleton is not a Raptor, and he does not fit. You know, in some ways on defense, I could make the argument that he does. But in some ways, culture-wise or energy-wise, he doesn't seem to fit. Like, in some ways, I really do like the long arms and the ability to rebound and be a shot blocker to an extent. But in some ways, there's something just off about him in the energy of the Raptors. I kind of agree with you, Wayne. Kareem saying, Seymour, I seen a comment from a Bulls fan, and they said, whoever the Raptors cut, we need to pick them up. They are cultured. I love it. I love this kind of comments coming in here. You guys see so much that I don't. And Kareem saying he saw Bulls fans saying, whoever the Raptors cut, they need to go and steal and get them afterwards. Amazing. I'll say this, Bulls fans, don't get too much on the ledge. Your team is not anywhere near on the same talent level as ours. And ours is very connected from a lot of experience playing together already. And we do really have our shit together here in Toronto. The Bulls, if you guys would have done better if Emmanuel Miller had played, honestly, you guys would have done way better in that game last night. I was expecting him to be a factor in the game last night, but he was in street clothes, and that hurt y'all. But you know what? We didn't have Colin Murray Boyles. So I don't know. I think Murray Boyles would have been even more impressive for us than Emmanuel Miller for you guys in some ways. But yeah, crazy. Mike saying the announcers love Shamshay. Well, this is the thing, man. People can see the promise and the potential in the body of him and what is possible. I mean, the man has specs like Antetokounmpo with his body frame. And, you don't have to be a basketball savant to see the possible potential of what Ulrich can grow into. It's going to be amazing, man. Good to see you, Mike, in the chat live. Stargate saying, kind of surprised they had such senior refs officiating summer league games. Yeah, I was breaking down the ref crew with Michael Smith being there, who's one of the oldest refs in the NBA currently right now. Old head Michael Smith is one of the refs I really respect and love. He's a similar ref to Tony Brothers. If you work hard and your team is doing really the right things, he will reward you. And he did. He did that last night. The Raptors were way more scrappy and active and doing stuff. And they gave the Raptors the benefit of the doubt more and more as the game went on with the calls. A lot of the calls early in the game where they were getting the Bulls dislodged and losing the ball may have been called fouls in the first quarter. But the Raptors' energy was sustained and very effective. And Michael Smith and CJ Washington had to start calling them as clean and not blowing the whistle when the Raptors were making the Bulls turn the ball over so consistently. And that was amazing. CJ Washington's absolutely a Raptors hater, the secondary ref in that game last night, but not even a factor. And then the third ref, I was researching before I went on the air, Hortensia Sanchez Calaveras. She's a ref from Mexico. She's a Mexican citizen. She's not American. And she's been coming into the NBA by refereeing G League in Mexico City and other places. And well, she was the rookie ref that was getting training in the game with the old head Michael Smith and the little douchebag CJ Washington. Little douchebag. That's right. Monique saying, as I said during my write-up on Alijah, when he was 39th, he reminds me of Norman Powell. Yeah, that comparison's coming up a lot. And Alijah believes in it himself. That may be the more important thing right there, that Alijah believes it in himself. That's right. Let me see. I lost my place for a second. Here we go. Mike's saying that defense was Clamp City. I love it. I mean, guys, I came blind into Summer League and called what was going to happen last night, yesterday in the morning. I said, spam steal, spam steal. That's what I've been saying this whole week. The Raptors drafted guys that spam steal. If you play basketball video games, that's a strategy you use. You just harass the ball handler coming up the court and press steal, and stand your guy next to him. And all of a sudden you take the ball and run and get easy scores. Well, the Raptors are doing a real life version of the video game version of spam steal. And it's so amazing to see. And it absolutely worked, which is the crazy thing. So many turnovers in that game last night from that strategy. I just love it. And I feel confidence in myself to astutely forecast things when I see stuff like this happen like this. It's like I blindly said they were going to steal the ball a lot last night and get a lot of turnovers, and they did. So it's like, seriously, y'all, if you're not watching the Raptor Freak channel, you are not ahead of the curve on what's going on with the Toronto Raptors. You got to watch this channel, because if it's not me bringing it, it's Monique, it's Trevor, it's Kareem, it's somebody else in here is going to bring the information, the cutting edge stuff for the Raptors world and what you need to know. That's right. That's what you need to know. That's right. James is saying Shamshay reminds me of young Serge Ibaka. Yeah. Yeah. In some ways, the enforcer role of Serge Ibaka is his to employ at this point, for sure. And Shamshay taking boxing lessons a couple weeks ago, that helps a lot right there. Yeah, Kaz is saying Brandon Ingram has a son. I just Googled it. All right, guys, the gender reveal is here. Let the blue puff of smoke up in the air. That is his son. So, Kareem, you better work on your gender identification, sir. That is his son. And I was right. That's right. His son's name is Brenton Ingram. I wonder if Brenton Ingram's going to play someday with Carter Lowry in the NBA someday. That's right. Let's go. Go James Wade. Go amazing coaching. I agree, super fan. His son, Brenton. Yeah, Brenton. There you go. Mike saying Shed Rising Stars, probably. Jamal Shed should be at Rising Stars this year coming up. Yeah, we'll have to see Murray Boyles. If he can be healthy and he can make an establishment, he could be going to Rising Stars as a lottery pick and as a rookie. And then, yeah, one of these guys from our team needs to be going to Rising Stars this year. They didn't go last year. It was kind of screwed up. Grady went, right, as a second-year player. He was on the NBA Rising Stars. But they they totally, did not pick one of our rookies. Well, one of them should go this year. And maybe it's Shed. Maybe it's Shed. Maybe it's Walter. Maybe it's Walter. Who knows? I'd love to see 3 of our Raptors at the Rising Stars Challenge this year. Colin Murray Boyles, Jacoby Walter, and Jamal Shed there. And hell, why don't you just throw Shamshay in there just in case? You know, who knows, man? Trevor J saying that's his son. He's just got long hair. Yeah, it's his son. Well, Trevor, you were there in person. You seen Brenton Ingram in person. That's right. Stargate saying, yeah, I saw Mary on the bench later on. Yeah, Mary's Andrade is still involved with the Raptors. She's there. Most saying Mamu's dogs are in Toronto, 4 of them. Wow. See, he's brought his dogs to Toronto. There you go. You don't mean his friends, right? His literal canines, right? Kaz is laughing. Come get the crown, Neil. Uh-oh. Kaz has got the #1 top fan. And he's taunting Blackhawk about getting the crown from him. Uh-oh. You guys are going to spend some money today? You guys going to spend some money today? M. Jones is in the house. Raptor Freak M. Jones. Good to see you back in the chat this morning. Happy Saturday, fam. Great look for our first Summer League game. Having these new additions sure is going to make the season interesting. Elijah sort of reminds me of Westbrook with a bit more of a pop. Yeah, he's good, man. He's good. Oh, King was trying to call me. I don't know. King, I'm on the air. You know that. You come in here first. I can't take the phone right now. I'm on a roll right now. Maybe if you call back, King. If you call back, I'll answer it. I wasn't expecting any calls. I hung up as soon as I grabbed it. I didn't mean to. So Brian's trying to call me right now, guys, to the point. Let's see if he calls back. You can call me, Brian, just so you know. You call me, and you can put your 2 cents in on this game last night if you want. All right, here he is. Let's get him. Let's get him right now. All right, this is a good. Let him do it. Here you go. You're on, sir.
Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening, Raptors freaks. What's going on? How you doing, Lex?
I'm awesome, Brian. And what a great game last night. How'd you feel about that game?
Oh, it was freaking awesome. I saw somebody in the chat just now say benchmark 2.0. I've been preaching that for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That's what the Raptors need. And this is what they're getting. I'm overexcited. Wunderbar.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what I was saying.
Yeah, man. Dude, listen.
How did you feel about the game, my man?
I'm pretty good. I will ask you to turn down the volume on me on your computer just because there's feedback. But man, I'm so happy with this first effort of the Raptors in Summer League. I think this is a great first step. Do you have any specific reaction you want to do to the game, Brian, from your standpoint?
Yeah, you know what? Look, not specifically the game, but the roster that I see that's there for the Summer League. I think this is, the first Star Wars. Let's call it A New Hope.
Okay.
I think that's absolutely amazing for what they're doing, especially what's there. Like we already know who's on the roster.
Yeah.
Already, that's established, right? Even though they are young and they are coming up, but now when we see these younger guys coming up and all of this, dude, I'm totally excited. I can't wait till September, October when this whole thing starts.
I feel really confident with the depth of the Raptors for this year. I really do. Like,
you're damn right, brother.
We got next man up
right?
for sure. Because, in some ways, God forbid, I don't want any injuries for the Raptors. And I'd love for us to be 100% healthy the whole entire year and really get the creme de la creme, top notch of the Raptors roster. But if there are any problems, I feel real confident with people stepping in and taking over those minutes, and everything's going to be fine, even though. So.
I agree with you 100%. But the way these kids are playing, we have a lot of, here in Toronto, we have a lot of talent that every other NBA franchise should kind of be jealous of right now, except for OKC and Indiana. but we have a lot of depth and a lot of talent. It's not a one-man show, LeBron.
Yeah.
But it's a whole team, and this is what I'm excited about. It's unfortunate that this is now. It's not unfortunate, but it's unfortunate that Masai had to part ways.
It's bullshit, man.
But it's still. Hey, I got inside information. I'll holler at you behind the scenes. But I have inside information.
No, don't do this. If you're gonna have inside information on the Masai Ujiri dismissal,
anyway, as long as regarding the Raptors going forward and this season, I'm loving it.
All right, I love that too.
This is actually amazing. I can't wait till I want all of the October so I can start covering the game.
This is crazy because this man right here is not a self-professed Raptors fan.
Maybe you could cover some of them with me. We'll talk about that, but I don't want to interrupt your stream. But Raptors Freak Nation, shout out to all of you. I got nothing but love for all of y'all and my To The Point family. You know what I mean, Lex?
Yeah, man.
You want me to sign myself out?
Yes, please. Yes, please. And I agree with you, Brian. We got good depth. I'm excited too. And you're not even really a self-professed Raptor fan, and you're excited for it. I love that. You there? Oh, I lost him. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and King is out. Y'all, thank you, Brian, for calling To The Point. Y'all check out To The Point on YouTube. Fantastic channel. The producer, Arturus, is top-notch, and King's pretty good himself. All right, let me try and get through this. I do want to try and finish up in 2.5 hours. I do have a lot to do still real quick, so let's see. M. Jones is saying, having these new additions sure is going to make the season interesting. Elijah sort of reminds me of Westbrook and a bit more pop. I know it's slowly and very slowly getting around that we can possibly make the playoffs. But my question is, how many wins you think we're going to get if you're going to guess? I want us to get at least 42 this year. I think that is the bottom. I want to be above 500. And I think the range for what we're going to get is between 42 to 50. A lot of us have been saying 45 wins. So I think somewhere in between 42 to 50, a winning season and a playoff spot outright, and not even in the play-in, is what I'm gunning for, M. Jones, at least personally, my speculation. Dan Rowe's back. Good to see Dan Rowe. Powell's got a heavy-hitting lawyer out of Montreal to deal with the CRA. They came after him with extremely similar tech documents that they used for Tavares. Yeah, I don't understand why the CRA is doing this crap. Norman Powell has not played in Toronto for, I don't even know, like 4 years now. So what the hell is this bullshit, CRA? Come on now. The NBA players already complain about taxes and customs in Canada. You're making them seem like they got a case at this point. So all the power to Norman and his problems with the Canadian Revenue Agency. We are on Norman's side, not on Canada Revenue's side on this bullshit. Bryce Lawson saying, good morning, Lex from Raptor Freaks. Good morning to Bryce Lawson, holding it down the bluegrass state of Kentucky, stateside for us. Let's go. Amazing game yesterday. A lot of fun to watch. Kentucky contingency in full effect. That's right. Emmanuel quickly. Let's go. That's right. Blackhawks saying Malawach is not garbage. He scored, defended, and his team won. It's Summer League. Well, I didn't see it. So I'm hearing somebody say he is, somebody saying he isn't. We'll just have to see as time goes on. That's right. Wayne saying lexicon analysis is spot on regarding Shamshay's positioning. Defensive stance is better than offense, but he's constantly looking like Koloko. Shamshay needs the ball high and not the level. You know, in some ways, they're not run plays for him. He's going to get garbage points. He's going to get them off offensive rebounds. He may get it off of a passing lane steal, apparently. He's going to get some shots. Of course, we've seen him shoot threes also last year. So in some ways, the way Shamshay goes about his offense is usually going to be like garbage points, not called plays for him. You know, there are a little bit of things where a guard will come into the lane and they will dish it to him as a drive and dish, and he'll grab it all of a sudden and dunk it, that kind of stuff. But yeah, the positioning on defense, top notch, Ulrich, and keep going in that direction, man. Top notch. Neil saying at Kaz, I'm wearing beret today. Viva la revolution. Okay, we need more French Revolution energy in this world right now, especially in the United States, where Lady Liberty is sitting in the on Ellis Island. That's right. Especially there, we need French Revolution. Down in the States, that's right. Mike's saying with the big blowout, we definitely have a chance at Summer League chip. Oh, yeah. The point differential matters, Mike. And we got a good point differential last night. That's right. Monique's saying CMB better play next game. You know how many fans were freaking out? Why? People, I mean, Raptors fans just need to chill out. Who cares? The man couldn't play last night. This is normal. NBA players can't show up for certain things. They're being precaution for him with his abductor. Is he abducted? He was abducted. So it's just how it is. Hopefully the abduction will be over and he won't be abducted tomorrow. But it's what it is. I mean, I never get that bent out of shape of stuff like this. Raptors fans are getting bent out of shape because Colin Murray-Boyles didn't play last night. Get over yourself. Go touch grass. Jeez. M. Jones saying, lastly, what's the deal with Freeman Liberty? He is an interesting grab. When we had him, does he not have a contract yet? We don't want him. In some ways, it's like, look, Javon Freeman Liberty is from Chicago. He went to DePaul. He is a Chicago guy. And the Windy City Bulls and the Chicago Bulls like him. And they have him in their depth chart, kind of like Jeff Doughton's in the depth chart of the Philadelphia 76ers. So JFL did come play for the Raptors and the 905 for a little bit, but he went back to Windy City. He is not wanted by the Raptors. In some ways, he is not the type of player we want. We want these guys we saw last night. JFL is a scorer. In some ways, he's very centric, certain things in his game. We've been there, done that. Nothing to see here. Wish him all the best. He's great for the Bulls, his hometown team, and he can continue to play there for all I care. But yeah, I've never been a big fan of JFL. I felt like we were wasting our time the whole time he was on our team. Let's just put it that way. Monique is saying W Stream W Vibes. Thank you for the cutoff. I need it, Mo. I need it. Rapid Freak Crew strong forever, just helping me limit the comments. And I appreciate that, Mo. I really do. M. Jones is saying my prediction is Grady is going to be our number one three-point shooter this year for the Raps. I called it. What if out of the blue Scotty is, guys? What if Scotty rises up on threes and all of a sudden he's bombing threes like crazy? And it's going to be amazing. We'll have to see. M. Jones is saying, as far as Darko from yesterday's conversation, where I was coming from was the CEO guy might be keeping an eye on him to pull the Darko trigger. Yeah, fuck all that. Let's not, like, seriously, Fan Nation, we need to be more responsible now that Masai's gone. Masai, in some ways, he get a level of confidence and kind of competency in our team. But now, you know, these idiots who are in charge, they may listen to knuckleheads in our Fan Nation more. And if there's a lot of fans saying stupid shit about players or our coach or Bobby Webster, Keith Pelly may actually come and fire them. So y'all need to shut the fuck up, toxic ass Raptors Nation. God forbid, M. Jones, that they fire Darko. So don't even utter it. Let's not even talk about it. It's very much the case in sports that it's high pressure and you can lose your job at any time. Darko has said there's two kind of coaches. There's the coaches that have been fired and the coaches that will be fired. So he understands this, but let's not try and put him on a clock already, put any pressure or even acknowledge this, because this is the case for all 30 teams in all situations, that any fucking coach could get fired at any time. And it's not any different in Toronto. If these guys are men of their word, Keith Pelly's going to let basketball people do basketball things, and he'll stay the fuck out of everything we do with the Raptors. Go watch the Leafs all you want, Keith Pelly. We good. Bobby Webster knows what he's doing. And in fact, don't even bother trying to rehire somebody to replace Masai Ujiri. So yeah, less of them involved and even talking about it. And Raptors Nation, understand we need to be more positive and not as detrimental to our team and talking shit and criticizing and saying all this shit, because we don't have the powers at top that are looking out for our team in the same way as Larry Tannenbaum and Masai Ujiri used to. And y'all's talk and y'all's toxicness can be very damaging at this point. So we ain't talking about Darko going nowhere. Don't even start that conversation with me. That's right. That's right. Enjoy the beautiful day, guys. Thank you, M. Jones. All the best to you. That's right. And note, Masai was on top of his ish and still got fired. Kill the machine. Let's go, Raptors. Well, I don't like the scary doomsday stuff. In some ways, yes, this world is scarier than ever with a fucking Nazi Germany south of the Canadian border right now. But in some ways, we got to go on and look to the positive and just try and make the best of this world as it crumbles down in the late stage of capitalism and the greed has gotten too bad that everybody's, in a bad place. So as much as Ed Rogers III being in charge with Keith Pelly as his little henchman, We live in a tougher world in Raptors world now, but we still got to carve out the positivity and go on the good vibes and the good stuff. If anybody's Debbie Downering the Raptors right now after a great win last night, fuck you. And get the fuck out of our fan nation right now is what I must say right now. We have every reason to be positive, happy, and celebrate. And the worst Raptors fans are the ones, when we win, they're still acting like little shits and being negative and fucking talking out of their ass and stupid things. And I'm not saying M. Jones is doing that. I'm just saying that we need to be positive and we need to look forward to good things happening for our team because it could get real dystopian. Let's trust me, with Masai gone now. He was quality control on making sure that things in the Raptors organization are going towards good things for our team. And that's kind of out the window with Ujiri gone. And it scares the hell out of me. I'm just going to say that. It scares the hell out of me is what I'll say right there. All right, let me make sure I get everybody's comments here. Let me keep going. Monique saying not Raptors news, but former MSU Mateen Cleaves in Phoenix. That surprised me. We went over that on the Instagram stories yesterday because of Morris Peterson's Instagram story. Logical Raptors fanatic saying we pay Scotty 25% of the cap. That grows with the cap. Ingram 25%. That doesn't grow based on the cap. Quickly makes 20% in a flat rate. 17% for RJ, 12 for Pirtle. Dame and Giannis make 35% apiece. So he's breaking down all the percentages here, and it is a big chunk. Like you get 50, 70, 87, and then boom, you're right at like 90 something. And there's a very small pie for the rest of the team other than the top 5 guys. And that's tough. But then he's pointing out that on the Bucks, the 2 players are making 70% of their roster. So it's just how you want to slice the pie. Different NBA teams are going to do different things with their salary cap. And the Raptors have a bit of a different slicing than the average NBA team. And that's just how it goes. Dwayne's saying the boys really showed out last night. A little shaky in the first, but by the second half, they were running on all cylinders. Great to see Raptor freak Dwayne Greenridge back in the chat. It's been a bit. Always great to see old Raptor freak come back and say hi. Good to see you, Dwayne. I will get the classic cards soon. I do want to start finishing up. Don't add any more comments, guys. I know I have a few more to go still. Mike's saying max contracts grow with the salary cap increase. So Dame and Giannis's 35% was take 35% of the salary increase each year. Even Nally? Who the fuck is Nally? You mean Hallie? You mean Halliburton? Why don't you say Tyrese Halliburton? And Siakam on 30% maxes each is taking 60% off the cap increase for the Pacers. Yeah, this stuff is all makes my eyes glaze, and I'm glad Mike is a capologist and he understands this stuff better than me. But this makes sense to me. It's like our percentages are a little bit lower, but there's more of them and collectively. But other teams are top heavy with like the top 2 guys, like Tatum and Brown, is what I'm saying. Wayne Strainer saying Chris Mills' lack of preparation was annoying. He kept saying Raptors were under new management. My wife told me he can't hear me because I was cursing. Martin's aggression is what I want to see from Oshai. Okay, there's a lot in there. Chris Miles, the announcer, yeah, he's annoying. He in some ways, like he's another one of these U.S. announcers that does not do his homework on the Raptors. It's just how it is. Steve Smith's more likely to know more about it. Mike saying Scotty takes just 25% of the increase. Okay, that's kind of what you already said, man. Let me just see. Brian is a character, eh? Yeah. King is an interesting guy. We love King. He's a great brother channel to mine. Mike's saying raps overpay narratives are BS. They're just hot air, and it's all gaslighting. A lot of the stuff about our cap and how much we're paying Ingram and Quickly and Barrett is just absolute horse crap, honestly. And Brian's saying thanks to Stargate about saying he's a character. Brian Utrini, I believe, yeah, he is. Damn right. My great-grandparents created doubles. All right, there you go. Wayne's saying not much to debate, Lex. Tall players need the ball high, not at their knees. Never suggested they run plays for Shamshe. At some point, they have to pass the ball to him. Passes need to be high, period. Yeah, I agree with that. Unless it's a little shovel pass as far as like Shed or somebody coming in the basket and they want to give it to him on a dump off or something like that. And Stargate's laughing, and Isaac's got my cutoff. I appreciate that. All right, let me get through tabs real quick. WNBA referees for today: Minnesota at Chicago, Angelica Suffren, Angel Kent, Ryan Sassano. Golden State at Las Vegas, it's Roy Guibien, Jenna Renault, and Kelly Broomfield holding it down and that way on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what the status of David Roddy is. David Roddy's not on the Summer League, but he was sitting with the other Raptors over there. I'm thinking he's like Josh Jackson. He's like a last add-on to training camp that's not really got a real chance to make the team, but he's practicing with the team behind the scenes, and he's not on the summer league team. So I have no idea what the hell's going on with David Roddy and why he was sitting next to Scotty Barnes at the game last night. It's really weird, really, really weird. But he was wearing a Raptors shirt. That is. The fantasy for the WNBA, I'm winning against JP. Cool Cat is losing to Trucker Kaz. Fiercey's beating MK. James is losing to Kareem. And Mike is just barely beating Edmund now, but at least he's now beating him. The Raptors Reddit are really going crazy about the team photo for the Raptors there. Really cool. They were undefeated since we got Painosaurus. They're saying on Raptors Reddit. Yeah, all right, we're going to keep going anyway. I'm going to move past that for Raptors Reddit. Oh, Instagram stories. I already did that. Let's see. Happy birthday to SGA. It is SGA's 27th birthday today, and that's my straight goods on Canadian goods. Is if you want an NBA MVP, get a Canadian MVP. A Shea Gilgeous-Alexander MVP, 27 years old today. Happy birthday, champ. Happy birthday to the greatest Canadian basketball player of all time, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Also, happy birthday to former Raptor Jimmy Oliver, whose birthday is today also, guys. Jimmy Oliver's birthday is also today. That's right. I think that's about it, guys. Let me get out of here. We'll do the classic card, and we will skedaddle and get out of here. And I'll try and get out of here not too far after 2 hours. That's right. David Roddy's on a 10-day, so he's going to 9:05. That's interesting that he's going to play for 9:05, and he's not going to play on this. Yeah, I don't know. It's confusing. I don't want to see him on the Raptors. I really don't. He can play on 9:05 this year, but I don't want to see him on the Raptors. Mike saying, one note, RJ Ingram Quickly's percent of the cap drops every year because they aren't maxes. That's good. So they actually make some more room over time to fill in the blanks with MLE and different kind of mid-level stuff for fleshing out the whole roster. Good stuff. All right, Stargate wants the classic card. Here it is. Here's another white guy from the 80s. It seems like we've had a lot of white guys from the 80s lately. This guy's pretty easy. If you know the history of the finals between the Bulls and the Sonics, you will know who this guy is. And also, this guy used to play for the Spurs. So if you know who this Milwaukee Buck forward center is, go ahead and put it in the full name answer right now. Classic card points are up for grabs right now as we speak. Get it while you can, right this second. Who is this player? Full name answer, please. Smooth Brown Man's here. Dino Raja. That is not Dino Raja, Dino Raja, Trucker Kaz. Unfortunately, that is not the great Dino Raja. No. Hey, you guys see who that is? As I said, the clue is if you know anything about the Bulls Sonics finals in the NBA history, you'll know who this player is. They played in that series. So, and they're kind of very in the middle of it. This guy was. He was not a bit player. He was in the middle of it. You thought it was Celtics for sure? No, this is a Bucks jersey. He's wearing green, but it's Milwaukee Bucks. This guy never played for the Celtics. So it's not Dino Raja. Dino Raja only really played for the Celtics. He came to the NBA late in his career. Man, I want y'all to get this because I just want to get off the air right now. I'm expecting someone to come over, and I got to get off the air. So y'all need to get this card right now and stop fucking with me. Seriously. Kemp Payton teammate. That's right. He was teammates with Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. And that's why this should be easy, guys. It's not like this guy didn't play a lot in the finals against Michael Jordan and the Bulls when the Sonics played the Bulls in that final series. In fact, this guy got into a fight with Dennis Rodman, and he got thrown out of the game because of it. Dennis Rodman played psychological warfare on this man on this card and got him totally out of the game. I'm giving you all this on a silver platter. Seriously, I don't understand how y'all don't know this. It's not like this is Alec Kessler, guys, or Brad Lohaus. This is a pretty well-known NBA player that you guys should know. Who got into it with Dennis Rodman in the Sonics Bulls final series of, I guess that was like 98 or something, 99? It's 97. One of those years was what it? Come on, I'm really disappointed in you guys. You guys are supposed to be very astute, knowledgeable, longtime NBA fans that would be able to tell me who this man is on this card. Come on, it's legendary. The what Dennis Rodman did to this man. It's a part of the history of the NBA Finals. How do you not remember what Dennis Rodman did to this man psychologically, guys? M. Jones saying, Lex, didn't mean to trigger. Enjoy the day, man. I just hate the idea of them firing Darko. It's all good. It's not your fault, M. Jones. It's just do not even utter the word. Vinny Del Negro. Vinny Del Negro is a guard. This guy's a forward center. Yeah. Yeah. I just hate the idea of like them even doing that to poor Darko. He doesn't deserve to get fired. There's nothing he's done that's done wrong. Casuals are complained about not winning, but they don't understand what's going on with our franchise and how we got to turn it around and how it takes. So y'all aren't getting this, man. It's really annoying me right now. Come on, y'all. Get this classic card. Where's Smooth Brown Man? He would know this right away. Where is Slug Deezy? Where is my old heads? Where's Trevor J? Trevor, you don't remember who this player is? Come on now. Somebody get in here and get this card. I don't want to say nobody's getting this card and end the stream. I'm telling you, there's somebody here that I have to go talk to. And y'all ain't doing this. All right, Blackhawk got it finally. It is Frank Brakowski. How the hell do y'all not remember Frank Brakowski? Seriously. How the hell do y'all not remember Frank Brakowski? And my guest is here. What do you know? All right, come on in. Say hi to everybody. Come on in. It's Raptor Freak, Adriana.
Hi, everybody.
See, that's why I'm like, get this classic card done because Adriana's here and I have to entertain my guest now. So
you don't have to entertain me. Have fun.
Okay, she's going to go inside and wait for me, but I'm going to finish up in the next 5 minutes. So, yeah, Frank Brakowski is the card, and I'm going to go ahead and give this was a little bit of pulling teeth. Who was it that got it again? It was Blackhawk. So I'm going to give Blackhawk 150 points for Frank. How could y'all not remember what freaking Dennis did to him? That was hilarious what he did to him. He was like totally pissed him off and like got him off his game, and he got thrown out of the game. It was really top-notch, top-level mind games by Dennis Rodman with him. Yeah. Detlef Schrempf, that would have been a good guess. He was on that team. Tim Legler, not so much. You don't remember Frank Brakowski? Man, you guys got to go look at Frank Brakowski. Fiercely saying, hi, Adriana. Girl power. There you go. Commissioner of Trivia Adriana is here. So, yeah, I guess the only Sonic name I knew, the only one you knew, Detlef Schrempf? Well, it's not a bad guess. He was on that team with Detlef. So, all right, guys, I appreciate everybody watching me today. Hell, Dennis pisses me off. Yeah, I love Dennis, man. He's my kind of player, man. Dennis was my favorite when I was a kid. And I loved his mind games and all the crazy shit he used to do. Yeah, he was awesome. Anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody watching my my reaction. I should really do the team stats real quick. I'll just go over it real quick. Part of the success for the Raptors against the Bulls last night was we got 30 more shots on goal than them, 85 field goal attempts, and they limited them to only 55. That's amazing. That's stealing the ball from them before they even get a chance to try and shoot. 7 of 26 from 3 for them and 13 of 32 for us. We actually shot 41% from 3 as a team, which is fantastic. The free throw shooting was bad by the Raptors, though. 68%, missing 7 free throws. Out-rebounded them 41-28 with 17 offensive rebounds. It's 25 assists for the Raptors, and the Bulls couldn't do jack shit. They had 8 assists to 34 turnovers. Look at that assist to turnover ratio for the team. 8 assists to 34 turnovers. 25 assists for the Raptors to only 19 turnovers. 16 steals for the Raptors. I love it. I could get used to that, all of that. That sounds so good, man. Enjoy your day, Fiercely also. I'll be back tomorrow to preview the Orlando game. I'll have the latest lineup news and the pertinent information to get you ready for Game 2 of the Las Vegas Summer League 2025 for the Toronto Raptors against the Orlando Magic. Thanks for watching me today, guys. I appreciate everybody. I thank you for supporting the channel. People like Fiercey, Blackhawk, Shaq Lindsay. You guys are awesome. I appreciate the members of the channel, and I appreciate everybody who subscribes and supports and watches this channel also. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Let's go.